That's where we're going. All right. Once again, we are back. I think we got a good episode today because I'm here with Kyle and Markus from the legendary local Cape Town punk band Half Price. What's up, brothers?
How's it?
What's up?
How you doing?
Good to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming, man. Thanks for getting in touch, man.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for having us. A little bit sauced right now, but that's always good.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Jet lagged and drunk. What
yes,
do you want?
That's something that I wanted to bring up with you, dude, is that you are just off the plane.
Yeah, literally, I flew in from London yesterday, and I had in between I had a 12-hour stayover in Frankfurt. So I've literally been traveling for 24 hours, came straight to the studio.
Couple of beers in, we're ready.
Epic.
Yeah.
What more do you want in life?
This is going to be the education of Half Price.
The drunk punks.
The drunk punks.
There we go.
17 years in the making.
Sure.
17 years.
I don't know how we're going to be able to fit 17 years into this podcast, but I kind of hope that you guys are going to come back.
Yeah.
Already,
yeah.
because I mean, just for the listeners and the people watching, is we've actually had a bit of a catch up. And we've had a couple of drinks, and we've got
More
to
than
know
a couple,
each other.
but
Yeah, but we've got to know each other pretty well. And damn, you guys have got some cool stories, and I can't wait for everybody to hear them.
It's been an amazing 17 years. As old as that makes me,
dude, 17
feel,
years is for a band in South Africa. 17 years is next level.
Yeah, 10 years of the same lineup. 10 years of the same lineup. I clearly had a few too many to drink, but
no, that's all good, man. But 10 years same lineup, 17 years going,
5 albums or 6 albums. I don't even know.
It's absolutely for me remarkable, and that's why I'm also so glad that you guys have come to join me to chat about your musical journey and what you guys are up to, and because there's a lot happening.
It always is.
For us right now, it's an exciting time because we've been recording, and we'll get to that a bit later.
Sure.
But yeah, 17 years, in this country, to last that long is, feat in itself kind
it's
of thing.
It's absolutely
you know
nuts, dude.
As a punk band, anywhere on the planet to last that long is
it just proves that it's a passion project. We do this, as selfish as it might sound. It's like, once you get known and you get fans, stuff like that, it adds to it. But we do it because this is what we want to do. It's our little place in our world.
Just say it. We do this for our own pleasure.
We do it for our own pleasure.
Totally. But the one thing
if we can give others pleasure, that's just
the one thing I want to point out is that you were the one of the bands that I was made aware of very young when I was still in high school, and we're not far apart in terms of age, right? We're not that far apart. A couple of years or whatnot.
Give or take a decade, yeah.
Maybe if you speak for yourself, I'm not that old.
Yeah, exactly.
I am early 20s.
Okay.
Markus is
late 20s.
All right.
And 17 years ago, I was early teens.
So what does that make me? I'm a fucking... what am I? I'm an infant.
Early, mid-30s. Okay, I'm 34. Let's
36.
just say that.
Okay.
Yeah. 36.
Is that a real 34?
No, that's a real 36.
Born in 1984.
Well, you and I are the same age then, bro.
84, baby.
So, but that's exactly what I'm saying is that when I was made aware of Half Price, and you were just one of the bands that just stuck out in my brain. Like
we made a big concerted effort to do all age shows, at Weinberg Sports Club, a few other places.
Well, we just figured we wanted to play to people our own age back then.
Sure.
So it's like those are the kind of people we want to play to. It's the kind of people that love the music, and so we wanted like people 2-3 years younger than us that couldn't go into a club. And that's
it's not when you're that young. I mean, your friends are linked amp for your band. The other bands are still fairly new, so there's a lot of ampness for gigs and that kind of stuff. When you get later, the people that be coming to your shows for 17 years, they don't come to every show anymore.
Sure. I mean? The point I was really trying to make is that I wasn't even allowed to go to your shows when you and I are the same age.
Your parents were smart,
My parents were very smart. Yeah. It's crazy.
Drinking a lot earlier.
Sure. I mean, like, I literally remember there was one time where all my mates. My mate, I'm gonna call him out, James McLaughlin. He was a huge fan of you. He is a huge fan of you guys. And I think was he friends with you guys or what?
I just remember that name from somewhere.
Yeah, and he was.
McLaughlin is not a name we hear every day.
Yeah. We wore many things in our day. I don't know if overall. Actually, yeah, we may have worn the overalls at one stage, but he was a huge fan. They were all going to these shows, and I wasn't allowed to because you guys would probably play. Yeah. You guys would play past my curfew.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. But those were some great parties. It doesn't feel like it was 17 years ago that we did those jewels.
Sure.
It feels like last weekend, maybe the weekend before.
Yeah, it's also, I mean, we would do a lot more of the all-age shows if it was easier. Nowadays, it's a lot harder to pull them off.
That's because you're old.
Yeah, dude.
It's probably,
when you've been a band for 7,
so we're organising a show for under 18s. How old are you? Yeah, we're all mid to late 30s. That's a bit weird, you know. But it was, you know, the funny way to say it is that it was our way of, you know, just doing what we do, and I wouldn't quite say corrupting the youth, but opening them to individualism, do what you want, the whole DIY thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do what makes you happy, as long as it's not really hurting other people or anything like that. You know, just be yourself. And what's really nice about punk is that it's very expressive.
Yeah.
It can be, and there's a lot of acceptance for differences and variances and that kind of stuff as
and
well.
it was always about doing it for yourself. I mean, that's what punk rock is all about. Nobody makes money out of punk rock except for maybe Fat Mike. He's literally the only guy on the planet.
It's funny how you say Fat Mike and not Nerve.
The rest of Nervex, they don't make money. It's Fat Mike. But anyway, so it was all about having a good time, getting together with our friends, doing it just for the fun of it. And I think that is actually fundamentally the reason why after 17 years we're still going, because we're still having a shitload of fun while doing this. Like, get into the practice room once every 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean,
it used to be twice a week, now it's once every 2 weeks, and we still have just as much time as we had 17 years ago when we started this.
Well, that's one. I mean, how often do you guys get together? Is it once every so often, every 2 weeks or whatever in the practice room and all that?
It depends because on what gigs they are. I mean, obviously for the writing process, for the new stuff that we were doing, you know, we'd practice a bit more often, but you know, there's a lot more responsibilities now. So bi-weekly we would practice, but we fit in practices where we need to, but you want to keep it regular. What's nice about playing with the same guys for a long period of time is that, you know, you might have not practiced for, I mean, some of the gigs we played, literally haven't had a practice for 2 months kind of thing. Have one practice and then it's like you still play the songs like how you
bro, the last show was tight. Why do we need to practice? That's one I get a lot.
Well, that's the one thing, that's the attitude we've never adopted. Like, before the show, the minimum is at least one practice.
For sure. I mean, one practice is
and we get a bit worried when we play super well at that practice, because that means we're not going to play that well at the gig. If we have a shit practice, then the gig's going to be stellar, which is rare.
Because these guys are also superstitious. Like,
I've got
just drunk, not superstitious.
I've got a huge superstition. This new, like, I've seen a lot of guys doing it, rehearsing on the day.
I don't do that
of the gig.
I'm a drummer and I've got to unset and
it's not a for me. It's not the done thing. You can't go play your whole set and be like, oh no, that practice was rad, and then you go to your show and play a bum set, and then you're like, oh well, I wasted all the good stuff at the practice.
Absolutely.
The way I feel, you waste your energy. I mean, like, to play a set takes a lot of your energy. To play a practice also takes some energy, not quite as much as a set, but like,
plus the
you're already
setting
using
up, the
so
setting
much
down.
energy, like, while playing that rehearsal set. What's the point? Like, rather practice 2 nights before and
totally.
Look, I mean, a practice before shows is always good, you know, especially if you're working on stuff, you know, when you get some featured vocalists, that kind of stuff as well, you know, it helps. But like I said, playing with the same guys for a period of time, we do stuff when we want to and need to, you know what I mean? There's
totally.
not this constant, like, we have to do it because we have to do all this stuff. It's, you know, that pressure we left behind about eight odd years ago. When we realized the band's not going to make it.
The band's not going to make it.
You only realized that
I think
8
I
years
saw
ago?
that in one of your videos.
No, that's when the last little flame of hope died.
Didn't I see that in one of your videos?
Yeah, it's in part of that documentary teaser we showed.
Okay, yes. All right. Okay, cool. Well, we're going to get to that eventually.
But like, while you're saying, I think you invited us here to talk about 17 years of Half Price. So
how do you
should we start at the beginning?
Let's start at the beginning.
Me and
Absolutely.
this guy met each other. Didn't mean to touch you there.
That's fine. It's going to look really weird considering how you said we're going to meet each other. But I lived in Hart Bay at the time, and one of my best friends, Denton, who's actually one of the guys who's been doing the documentary and film, and Marcus and his other best friend, Mark Brusiker, we, not knowing each other, we went to 7-Eleven to buy beer because we were underage and they would let us. And then we went to the Milkwood Forest to go smoke
some marijuana,
a joint and drink the beer without being like, getting death stares from the people doing their shopping at Main Street.
Or being arrested, because back in those days you still used to get arrested for that stuff.
Yes, that's also another good point. So Marcus and I met in the bush in a forest, basically, having the same idea to drink beer and get high, but we didn't decide this together, just the universe put us.
And then we started a metal band.
And then we started a metal band, that is correct.
So it started initially with you two alone, just you and Marcus.
No, that was a different band. It's like
okay, no, but yeah, okay. So
the
carry on.
Friendship started, yeah. So Marcus was in a band called Dirty Locals, which was a 5-piece punk band. They split up, and then the other member, Steve and Cram, was also in Damnasia, an old metal band from the early 2000s. Marcus asked me, and I was like, dude, I'm a metalhead. Like, I'm not a punk drummer. He's like, well, we actually want to go more heavier. So we were a 3-piece, and so Dirty Locals changed to a 3-piece.
Okay.
And then when he was in UCT, Pete saw him with his multicolored mohawk and a studded leather jacket with some punk paraphernalia.
Literally, I need to demonstrate this. Turn around there. Taps me on the shoulder.
I really want to do this.
Dude, I want to see it.
I've got a mohawk, so this is me. I'm Pete. So he taps me on the shoulder and he goes, "Hey, dude, do you like punk rock?"
Not particularly. No, I'm just kidding.
So turn around. Do I look like I like punk rock? Yeah. And then he goes, "I want to play in a punk band, so let's get a single and smoke it in the bush."
Nice.
And then I met Pete because he's from Berkeley, and a lot of my brother's friends were Berkeley guys. So I'm at this house party and I'm handing out flyers for Dirty Locals. It was Dirty Locals, Sacrifix, and Ignorance is Typical from Joburg.
Yeah.
Playing at Mercury. And I was handing out flyers, and he was like, Dirty Locals. He's like, I know the bass player for that band. I was like, Marcus, and he's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I'm the drummer. And then we started chatting. We had some similarities on stuff, and then a year a bit later I became a half price man.
Yeah, so
sure. Okay. So you had the whole punk. What was the band that you were playing in again?
Well, I was always passionate about punk. I mean, I played in a punk band since the 5 years before half price started. I played in a punk band first in Cape Town, then another one in Germany. I moved there for a year or two. Then Dirty Locals when I came back, which was like punk hardcore, which then we turned into like a metal sort of outfit once Kyle joined. Yeah. And then I started half price on the sides with that with Pete, and then Kyle joined us.
Okay, brilliant.
Half Price's name back then was actually Bad Influence. That was your guys.
Yeah, that was our first name. Was Bad Influence. You're right.
I'm not bad.
For whole one gig, we were called Bad Influence. Yeah. I forgot about that.
Good work. Go team.
And now you're a 4-piece.
4-piece.
Yeah. So it's Pete, yourself.
We started as a 3-piece actually, half price, and then Pete and I we wanted to get another guitarist because it would help free Pete up on the vocal side, and he could add leads. He was quite anti it actually. You want to remain the 3-piece punk band. It's it's raw, it's dirty, that kind of stuff. So
pure rhythm section with great vocals.
Yeah, so he conceded auditioning. Going through some auditions. I don't know how we found Renee.
I was studying with him at CPUT.
Well, there we go. That's how we found him.
Okay.
And he rocks up at our practice room in Oudtshoorn Village. That was still Bunker 31 with Graham from Blunt, the drummer. I don't know if you remember. It's like a...
Way before
Jasper, look.
And he rocks up to the practice with a fucking broken leg on crutches. And he's
the first question I ask him is, do you like to drink and party?
Yeah. Yeah, that's primary. Like that's number one on the resume.
Yeah.
He had never even heard ska music before. Like we play a couple of songs. He's like, "What is this?" And we're like, "Ska music." He's like, "Never heard that shit before, dude." Never. And then we auditioned him and nobody else. We just said, "Well, if you want it, you got the job," kind of thing.
We did ask Mork if he wants to join the band.
But he was in Sweet Victory.
Yeah, and he said no. Mork is our current guitarist now. He's been
taught Pete how to play guitar.
Sure, like just actually quick segue. We'll go back to that. Is that I got a funny story about Mark. Is that I used to go to the one gym in Kenilworth Centre.
Yeah.
And I just started playing with my brand new band. We were having such a party doing it and whatnot. And then we played with Half Price. I think it was quite early in our I think it was like Graham Jam or something. Didn't you guys play the show that helped Graham get his drum gear back or pay for his drum gear? Did you guys play that show?
We
Was
did
it?
play that show, yeah.
Yes. So it was exactly. It was a really cool. Mark Jennings did the artwork.
Okay.
I think so. I think it was it. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Remember the details,
Yeah.
really,
But 17 years.
Show,
17 years. But that was cool. And then I went to the gym and I was like, oh, that's him. That's the Half Price guitarist. I know him. And then eventually we played another show down the line, and he was like, "Hey, bro, I know you." And then we ended up just crossing paths. And lame story, but that's how it went down. It was very cool to
we call him Mork now.
We call him Emo Mork.
Well, they call him Emo Mork. I call him Mork because he's as badass as like a tomahawk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, but then after that whole story, then I ended up getting absolutely wasted with him at Raw after one of your shows that I attended. And that's when we became
He's a good guy to get wasted
chommies.
with.
If you don't remember me, Mork,
Yeah.
I'm going to murder you.
So we asked him at the time if he wants to play guitar for us when we wanted to expand it to a 4-piece, and he said, no. I want to play and sing in my own band, Sweet Victory, which was a great band, by the way. But he should have joined us back then. But anyway, it was great that Renee played with us because it was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, Renee, I mean, it opened up all. I mean, Renee was from Namibia, so I mean, some of our first time we played in Namibia, we actually played with The Narrow.
Yes.
There were like 700 people at that show.
Dude.
You know?
It was epic.
And it was mad. Then we played at like a soccer stadium in fucking Namibia. And then we played at like an amphitheater where Pete started a riot, and that's why we never got onto festivals. A whole other fucking stories altogether. Pepper spray, getting the crowd back.
Wow.
And because Renee wasn't
She's
a punk
like
rocker.
Limp Bizkit at bloody Woodstock or something.
yeah. Except
it wasn't new metal.
Yeah. And then the guys who... Yeah, okay, I'm not going to go there. It's a bit... Basically, Pete almost got beat up that night because the last band didn't get to play because of fucking the shenanigans. And then in the VIP tent, they cornered Pete, and he was so wasted at the time. I don't know where I was.
I don't remember this.
I was up on a dune somewhere.
Jeez,
I don't know. It was crazy. Crazy
So was there an actual backlash towards you guys?
Well,
it kind of was our fault.
Yeah, it was our fault. Basically, like, we used to very close, intimate club gigs.
Yes,
we like the crowd very close to us. Playing at a festival on the stage that's like 4 times the size of what we used to.
And a barrier like 15 meters away.
Before the crowd. So then Pete just said, like, bash the fence down, come get to the stage. Next thing, 2,000 people break this fence barricading, all the cabling for the screens on the side just gets shut off. I've never seen so much stage crew fucking jump on the stage and like just start shouting at us like I'm busy playing drums like in the middle of the song, and I'm just like, cool bro, cool.
That honestly sounds like the best gig ever.
And
then they stopped us, and then they said we can't continue until the crowd moved back. The crowd didn't move back, so they released some pepper spray in the crowd, eventually moved back, and then we continued our set.
Dude,
we ended before 11:45. This was New Year's Eve, 11:45, so they wanted to get the DJ on, so the last band didn't get to play, and they drove from fucking Joburg to like 2,000 Ks. So it was a dick move, you know. I mean, it wasn't planned, and we didn't plan on it.
We didn't want to be dicks about it, but like kind of like...
So you ended up being that band.
Yeah.
You ended up being those guys.
So they were justified in cornering Pete.
If you're gonna crash the stage and if you're gonna break down the barrier, you obviously dig the band, right? You want to get to them. You want to get onto the stage. That's incredible.
Yeah.
And then for years we were sending like our submissions to like Woodstock, Splashy Fen, all that kind of stuff. And then when we eventually got into Woodstock, because we won a competition, a battle of the bands kind of thing. Pedro, from the guy who organised Splashy Fen, we were literally, me and Clayton were trying to braai a T-bone steak. This is the second day we're trying to braai this T-bone steak. Marcus is sitting across us, Pete's over there, and we all, we well on our way. And he comes, he's like, trust like the most raucous part of the band campsite to be half price. We're like, Pedro, why do you never let us play at your festival? He's like, I heard about Namibia, and you guys, I'm sorry, there's so much stuff going on at the festival. You're a liability.
Yeah.
You know
like
I
I said, I watched your show last night. You guys were amazing. It was epic because we played the Woodstock. We played in the tent stage while the main stage was empty, and there was like
And it started hailing
200 people like in the 10th stage while we're playing. It was amazing. I loved it. I said, but you're not going to play at my festival.
Yeah.
You guys are a liability. Yeah. Can't guarantee what's going to happen. Shit's going to get out of hand. You're not going to play at Splashy Fin.
That
we said, cool, so we don't have to keep sending you our EPKs or, our press releases and stuff anymore. But,
so we never sent it there again.
Anyway.
Dudes, that is nuts. That is nuts. That's like the best thing I've ever heard.
We never ended up finishing it after the 3 days of cooking a T-bone on one coal. We never actually got to eat the T-bone steak.
Didn't know that.
But it was like the safety zone. It's like when shit got out of hand, let's go back to the T-bone.
To cooking some T-bone steak, baby.
So let's jump back a couple of years. We were talking about when we started, and the first album we released was Bush Bernard and My Mom's Note.
Yeah.
And then that was the time. It was a couple of months after. It was a couple of months after the 9/11 bombing.
Yeah.
Everyone was just talking about.
It was
Bush,
the cover's ridiculous.
Blah, blah, and we just thought, this is so relevant to our lives. We're living in South Africa. Who gives a damn about it? So we said, Bush and Bin Laden is about as important to us as My Mom's Note. That's why we call it Bush Bin Laden and My Mom's Note.
Also, Harper was quite a bit more political back then, but still had quite an element of humor and satire and that kind of stuff. The cover was ridiculous. I mean, it's like literally a photo of Bush, a photo of Bin Laden, and this cartoon of a fat ass, but in a vector drawn.
Mom's ass.
Well, I don't know who's
That's
mom
crazy.
I think it was Joy.
Hey, mom. But I'm not gonna argue.
What are the 9 tracks?
I'm just gonna stop and say, I was told by a good few of my friends that I said to a good few of my friends that I was gonna have Half Price or a couple of members from Half Price on my podcast, and they said, dude, it's gonna be fun. And damn, dudes, this is wicked. Yeah, it's epic.
We showed you that little video from the Bush Bernard and My Mom's Note tour, The Crack of Dawn.
Crack of Dawn.
Should we do that?
Okay, cool. Let's do that. We're gonna take a quick break, but it's not gonna be a break for you guys. We're gonna just
stay
quickly...
tuned. You want to watch this?
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Bush Bernard and My Mom's Note tour, 2002 or 3.
2002, 3.
In Johannesburg.
The Crack of Dawn, eh?
Yeah, The Crack of Dawn.
Enjoy.
Well, I'm fucking wide awake as well.
The Crack of Dawn, gents. How did you feel about that, bro?
Well, how does that feel if you get your friend's ass in your face?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
I got it back.
You got him back, but not on video.
Not on video, I'm afraid. Never managed to do it on video.
Who started The Crack of Dawn? We wrote a song called The Crack of
Dawn.
We wrote 2 songs called The Crack of Dawn.
If you let me finish, I was going to build up to the second song. But it's okay. What's even funny is we called the second one Crack of Dawn 2, and then that was the first song on our first full proper album, and the first Crack of Dawn song was way later in the album. It made no sense at all.
Yeah,
so if you can do me a favor, Kyle, can you... I can hear all of your clink clink clink. Yeah.
Clink, 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 clink.
Just for the listeners, I think they're gonna get most of, because this is my first three-way.
Threesome.
Threesome way. So I've got one microphone charging 2 X, so I've got the sensitivity up a little bit, and I can hear the clink 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 clink.
Fair enough.
But carry on about that story about the
COD.
So about
Crack of Dawn.
A year after this video and a year after
the
tour, we released our first full-length proper album, because Bush Bernard and My Mom's Note, it was great, it was fun, it was
most of the songs were recorded at a student project at Cape Audio College.
Okay.
And we just chucked it out for no money.
But that's what you do, man. That's what you
that's
got to
we
do.
did back in
Yeah.
2002.
But also, you check out for no money, but it didn't cost you so much money back then either. You know.
Well, no, but I mean, didn't you you mentioned something when we were sitting before? You recorded at Paris Studios.
Yeah, the last 2 tracks on Bush Bin Laden.
Yes.
Those are the 2 tracks that I'm on. The
Sure.
previous, however many there are, I don't know.
Yeah.
But that cost money.
Yeah, but it was
reasonable?
It was reasonable, but
Because
I mean,
you did live drums and all that kind of
Yeah,
jazz
the
as
whole
well.
thing was basically
Where-
live. Yeah.
no
let's be
metronome,
honest.
no metronome, nothing like that.
You can listen to the album on Bandcamp. Our Bandcamp site's got the whole Bush Bin Laden My Mom's Note on it. We're not going to sell you that stuff anymore, but you can listen to it there.
Sure.
That's because
And
we
it's-
don't actually have the stuff
and
to
it's-
sell you.
You
to
didn't,
reprint
you didn't
it.
have the stems, eh?
It's basically
Lovely.
It is what it was. It was 2003. It was a young punk band out of Cape Town.
Sure.
Back then, recording was a lot more of a fancy job than it is now. There was no Pro Tools. There was no fancy online stuff around. It was like analog desk and some.
Yeah, well,
Stuff,
yeah. Well, I mean, the Dirty Locals album that Marcus and I recorded before Half Price, that was on tape still. You know what I mean? So again,
Cassette.
yeah, well, no, it's
Analog.
16
Yeah.
16 tape. And it was quite funny when we went to record Taking Life Seriously at B Sharp Studios. I mean, he did, what was it, New Girl, Sugar Drive, Growing Trend. He was like a more affordable but a really pro kind of product that you would get. You know, and Fuzzy Gish.
Fuzzy Gish at the time.
Yeah.
That got us
Squeal were on there. You know, a lot of, I think even
on
Sarin
there. It
Gas
was the
recorded it.
studio in South Africa. If you were a
Sarin
punk rocker
Gas,
at
yeah.
that time, if you were a punk rocker, probably if you were rock music, you went to B Sharp in Benoni.
Yeah.
Benoni,
Okay.
Boxburg.
Impala Park.
Oh, whatever
So
it
on the
is.
border.
Yeah.
But how's it? So we get there. And
That's when 16 Stitch and all those
yeah,
dudes
so
were around. Yeah.
They recorded there as well.
Okay,
Um,
cool.
So we get there and.
But this time we were 4-piece now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we get there and JB says, okay, like, you know, do the drums first. Where are your guide tracks? We're like, guide tracks? Like, what are you talking about? He's like,
What's
you
a
know.
guide track?
So he's like, you know those tracks that your drummer plays
Has
along
to
to?
play
So
to, yeah.
And we're like, no, we don't got those. He's like,
We
"Okay."
don't got
Yeah.
those.
So he's like, okay, so where are your click tracks? And we're like, click track, what is that? He's like, the metronome, so you can play in time. We're like, metronome? Or like,
But you were a metal drummer, bruh.
What are you talking about? Yeah,
Like
but
we
dude,
can play our
untrained.
songs tight,
Yeah,
man.
I know, untrained, okay.
Yeah.
Actually, to be honest with you, Kyle, got to be honest, I've got to segue this. When I was first getting involved with the local scene and starting my band and doing my thing,
Clink, 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 clink.
yeah, is one of the first things I did. I saw you do
The clinic at Bottomers.
clinic at
Oh my
Bottomers,
goodness.
and I
Best part
find
was
it.
me
I
dropping
remember
the
that.
stick.
No?
No, the best part is watching a lefty play, dude.
Yeah. Dude,
I think it's the most weirdest but most awesome thing ever to see a left-handed drummer play, dude.
it's a colossal fuck up. You know, it's rad.
It
Yeah.
reminds me of that show we played in Germany with Die Mimmies.
Stage made out of glass, basically. The guy comes up and he's like, okay, you can use whatever, but don't change the thing. And I'm like, dude, I'm a left-handed drummer. He just goes, oh, fuck.
Yeah. But the fuck up is that you've got to change hi-hats and turn everything around.
It's the sound engineers that are like, are you kidding me? Like, you know.
Yeah, I'm a lefty.
I did send you the tech writer like 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But it is complicated because, you know, overseas, when we toured there, it's like you bring your whole backline. So the band before you, their whole backline gets wheeled off and you get wheeled on kind of stuff. You know, this is even a club show. It's not really on Wheeled Up Riders, but they've got enough crew to like make it quite seamless. You know, over here, everybody shares a lot of the stuff, especially the kit. So if I knew the complications it would give me later on, I probably would. I play guitar, but right-handed. I probably would try to learn right-handed.
Play guitar right-handed, really?
Well, I can't really play guitar, but like, you know, when I
Yeah,
do,
but-
it's in a right-handed position because that's all I've had. But
Yeah.
I mean, like left-handed drum, that's what was natural, you know. And as
Sure.
I said, it's self-taught, so I was just like, okay, well,
It looks
fuck.
great.
Yeah, it does. Thank you. Yeah.
I love the fact that we had a couple of drinks before we did this, man.
Dude,
this is good fun.
you know, it's like it's awesome. I had a cigarette outside. It's a bit chilly outside. And
Yeah.
My face is all buzzing and warm.
No,
and
well, we've
the
got-
clink. No,
Yeah.
it's just the booze that's making us warm.
Yeah. So what? Jeez, I didn't even know where to segue from that, man.
Taking
That's
life
a-
seriously.
Taking life
So we had no
seriously.
tempo tracks, we had no guide track, we had nothing. So we had to play it live. I mean, the one song we got 9 tempo changes in the song. Now you got to record, and I never played along to a metronome or anything like that. So I think I was recording like literally 10-second parts because I would always accelerate.
It's like the way we have prepared for this album. It was like it cost us a fortune. It was 20,000 rand in 2004 as a little punk band from Cape Town.
And we lived there for a month at the studio.
We lived there for a month, so it cost us a shitload of money. And we're going up there, and like how we prepared it for it is like have a practice every day, get as tight as at the songs as you want to, like be as tight as you possibly can. And we thought we were well prepared, but we did not know what a click track was.
I think B-Shop, because he had like he wants to, he's putting his name on it, so I think he put in a lot of extra work. Because for me, that album has still got so much energy, and maybe that was the thing that it had to work. We were so unprepared in terms of the more professional environment, but the energy was there, and I think that's what translated a lot in the song. It's like nothing made sense.
That makes all the sense to me, though. Yeah, but it makes all the sense to me. Yeah.
I mean, we got a record deal, this major record deal that we were so excited about.
And what happened?
No, we did. Red Ambulance, new label at the time, punk rock. Punk rock was huge in South Africa at that time. At least it felt huge at the time. Red Ambulance was Fuzzy Gish, basically, and they started a label and they decided to sign a bunch of bands from out of Joburg.
I remember I asked him, I said, we're not the strongest candidate for to get this offer kind of thing. And I asked Jay Bones, and he's just like, any band that drives fucking 4,500 Ks to not get paid, to shove a drum kit, 2 guitar amps, and 3 guys
into a bucky.
No, not even to a bucky. It was in your Corolla.
It was my Corolla.
And drive to Durban to play a show. He's like, you guys are prepared to
drive back the next day.
Yeah, you're prepared to go the extra mile. Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, it's the work ethic in there. We didn't consider work ethic. It was like, okay, so we got a show out of town, rad, road trip, alcohol, rad.
But that's how I see it. That's how I see it.
We leave on Thursday. We drive to Joburg. We play there on the Friday.
And you have a fucking blast doing it. Yeah. But do you still have that same?
Peter and I know, so he had to drive literally from Cape Town to fucking Durban to Joburg back to Cape Town.
Yeah, in
3 days. Yeah.
But do you guys still live by that same?
Pretty much.
We are 4
I do have
best
a driver's
mates.
license now, though.
Yeah. I actually wanted to talk to you about one thing, but we can talk about it later. Just with Kyle in specific. But damn, man, that's crazy.
It is, dude.
Yeah, so this guy signed us.
Yeah. I think that for us it was like, let's not get caught up in the logistics and the complications. It's something we want to do. Come hell over high water, we'll do it. If it means fucking driving for 20 hours cramped like this, then so be it, because that's what we wanted to do. And you had the energy and like just the vibe to go out and like play shows.
But the same thing, I see what you're saying now. I still see the same energy within you guys now. Like just having the break while we watch the Crack at Dawn video. So you guys are still super amped to talk about the stuff.
So as I said in the beginning, we're still doing this for the same reason we did 17 years ago. To
for
have
the
as
love
much
of it.
Fun as possible for ourselves.
Yeah.
You kind of realize that it's
true.
I mean,
that's absolutely true.
As you know, being in 2 bands, and a lot of it gets complicated. Every time I say it's like shit, everything's busy. If it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, gig Friday, or another band Saturday, work Sunday, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's like shit, it's getting
also
hectic.
Trying to manage house, relationship, work,
all that kind of stuff. And then I tell myself, I was like, well, instead of complaining, take it all away, and then what? So the alternative is just I can't even think about that. You know what I mean?
No, it sounds miserable.
And the older you get,
I relate so much to that.
It becomes a bit more difficult.
Take note, people.
Nobody's got time these days, especially the older you get, you have less time. But for things you love, you got to make time. Nobody's got time. You got to make for it. And we all on the same page is that if we didn't do this, there'd be a huge hole in our lives. And
massive.
And I can't deal with that.
No.
You know what I mean? It's like, so we do it. And again, it's we do it for ourselves. And if other people can get on that boat and enjoy it with us, fucking A. You know what I mean? But I said to my mom years ago, like when I first joined Hard Price, I was like, well, I just joined a punk rock band. We're not going to make any money, so I might still be playing at the Purple Turtle and living with you.
Purple Turtle,
when I'm 40, you know
yes.
what I mean? It's it's just that kind of you make the decision. You know what I mean? And it's
totally.
Yeah.
And today you're still willing to do exactly the same thing.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm not quite sure if I'm willing to drive to Durban.
I can afford to fly now, so
yeah. Well, there we go. Like we can turn the driving into flying. Yeah.
I'm still willing to drive to Durban for sure, as long as I share it with Kyle now.
Listen to
I'm not gonna
Marcus.
do it
He's
by
traveling
myself
the
anymore.
world for his business, and he's like, nah. I'm never driving again, which is exactly the
saying
same.
that. I'm
No,
driving
you
to-
you shouldn't.
We're driving to Durban for a tour in October, but not by myself. We'll share it
upgraded.
out.
We've got this guy
Tabang.
Tabang. He used to run a taxi line in Sea Point, but then government gave him a subsidy because obviously they nationalised that.
They bought him out because of the My City bus.
So he does like overland transport and that kind of stuff. So we hire a Quantum with the trailer, get the band in there, but like
Does the hooter come with the Quantum?
Of course
it
it
does, yeah. And with the driver and all.
Gotta
so-
ask with the Quantums these
Yeah.
days, bro.
So and with the driver, so now what we do is none of us drive. We just spend the 12 hours getting to Joburg drinking. We usually pass out at about Beaufort
see,
West,
no.
that kind of thing. Takes us a lot longer because we need to stop for like a million fucking piss breaks, but we don't have to drive at least. you know.
Dude, I'm the
But we
worst.
still drive.
We did a
17
a tour to Pretoria,
Yeah,
Bloem,
yeah.
all that jazz, bruh. I'm totally different. I think it's maybe because I had a huge accident in 2015. But damn, dude, I've either got to be in the front seat or driving.
Okay.
That's just me.
Yeah.
Like, we drove all the way through to Bloemfontein, but we left at 10:30 at night the night before, so we
Yeah.
drove through the night.
As one does.
I didn't get an single wink of sleep.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Man.
I just sat like this, and I was in the back.
Yeah.
There's the driver's seat, there's the passenger seat, and I sat up straight, and I was
You're just
looking
watching
straight
the
at the road. Just because, I mean, my past experiences and stuff, I cannot do the drive.
Yeah.
That's something that I will never be able to accept going forward because I don't like driving with other people.
Yeah.
I don't like anything
Dude,
like
That
that.
sounds awful.
I'm similar
It's
as
it is
well. I mean,
awful,
it's like
but it's my own fault.
I'm the worst passenger driver. I drive myself. Get most of the stuff. But going on the tour, it's like you just got to put your faith in that the guy's going to be cool, and he is. I mean, we've done quite a lot. We've done
Tabang is great. Yeah.
We've done to Namibia and that kind of stuff.
Sure.
I mean, and I suppose
I need to
with
grab
the-
his
with-
number.
Yeah, dude,
Afterwards.
ATM transport. Yeah, and I suppose like what's nice about it then is that we've made that a lot of the fun stuff on tour happens in the bus on the road,
Yeah,
road trip,
yeah.
that kind of stuff. But it's long and hard hours. If you got to drive, then you don't have the fun part of it. You just got the mission.
Sure.
But
Also,
Yeah, it's-
driving creates something that
I watch.
flying just doesn't.
I have to pinch myself because also like looking at it, I was like, it's nighttime. I just see the lines going. How fast is he going? The trailer's doing this, and I'm just like,
Yeah,
never mind. Just crack another beer and just hope for
totally.
the best.
I have an argument to that though.
Mhm.
That when you're driving, there's you get all that time. There's the shenanigans because you're bored. You're having a great time. You can teabag a mate and
Exactly.
you can do all that kind of stuff. But you can do the
It's
same
crack of
things.
dawn.
You can do the crack of dawn
on
Damn
an
straight.
airplane. You can fly.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
There
You
go.
can do all that same stuff, but you've got a window
Yeah.
of travel, and the rest can be wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But when you're flying, it's like kind of when you're driving, that hardship you go through on the 20-hour drive.
Dude, it's
to
hardship.
Joburg,
It's hardship.
or whether it's 20 hours
It does
Joburg
knit,
or
it does
driving
knit
from
the band a
Bristol
bit closer
to,
together.
to Munich
Yeah.
or whatever. You're driving, it creates something. It creates an atmosphere. It's hard, but
But if we're talking Munich
Flying just
or we're
doesn't create
talking overseas, different story, my friend.
Yeah.
Remember, I've done no, and that's something that we need to talk about right now. Is
right now, that's taking life seriously. That's the first time.
Yeah,
around
that's
Okay,
it's old news. We've done that.
No. Okay, have we got a track off taking life
Taking
seriously?
life seriously. That was the album that we started this part of the section on, and
The Cracker of Dawn was what we saw this
yeah.
section.
But then we moved to Taking Life Seriously, which was our first proper album, and then
You are correct. I'm just gonna-
that is the first album.
Marcus,
that we toured
take us
overseas.
away, brother.
Yeah.
Let's do
We
this.
toured overseas on that album back in 2005.
Exactly, that's what I want to
You
hear.
and me and Renee and Pete.
We did it was a 3-week tour.
it was epic.
At end of November, we leave Cape Town. Right, fly to Joburg.
Okay.
31 degrees, 32 degrees. I'm in shorts, sneakers, and I've got like a hoodie. Arriving Gatwick at fucking -4 degrees, dude. And I got to go stand outside. We had to wait there for like a few hours for the tour and to rock up. Dude, it was fantastic. It was Against Me had just finished using the tour.
Yeah,
That was
Against
on
Me,
on
yeah.
the second tour.
No, that wasn't the first tour.
Yeah, so we used the same tour van as Against Me, which was like really, really cool.
Awesome.
I don't know too many songs of theirs, but apparently
Cool.
It was 3 weeks on
it
tour.
It was about 18 shows in 21 days.
21 days, 18 gigs.
And where?
So we started off Sasha, who became a good friend of mine in the meantime. But Sasha, who said some guy I met in Germany, he said, "I'll book your tour."
You should actually tell him how we got in contact with him.
He sent out a mailing list.
He ran Anti-Flag's European label over there. So when Anti-Flag would go to Europe, he would do a lot of the gigs.
Promo agent that he toured around.
So he sent out an email, and somehow Marcus's email address.
And instead of, like, as it happened in those days, I was part of the Anti-Flag mailing list. But he didn't put everyone in BCC, he put everyone in CC. So this mail went out to 3,000 people, including myself. So I just like grabbed the mailing list.
That's nuts, man.
Because it was all for
Absolutely insane.
and it was all for promoters and venue contacts and all this stuff throughout Europe.
Yeah, so I just grabbed the mailing list and said, "Hey, any of you guys, we're half price from South Africa, want to tour Europe next year. Here's our new shit. Anyone want to book us?" Sasha
and who was tasked with that? Was that you, Marcus?
So I just wrote back, or just like grabbed the mailing list, stole the whole thing, and wrote that thing.
Well, the thing is, I mean, in every band, there's one guy. There's always the writer and the co-writer and the manager, so to speak.
Yeah,
the person
that's traditionally been me in the band, the manager part, not the writer.
I can tell that the way we going on with the conversation, that you the man that's been like behind the admin, the person running the show, basically.
No, everybody's got to do a certain job.
No, of course, but you the tactician.
What also, I mean, before, Marcus used to organize quite a lot of punk gigs, so the logistics side and the contacts and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
so
and I also played in a punk band over there.
Sure.
During my studies.
But am I right? Am I right? Because
yeah.
I mean, I can just see it by your body language, the way you are, and that you drive the stuff.
Drive with all the videos.
Yes, exactly. I mean,
he's also the only guy that could figure out how we could pack an entire backline plus 4 guys in a
yeah.
It's just very efficient, you know what I mean? So Marcus had been that Pete and Marcus together, I think, had always had the more, not necessarily the image, but the connecting with the crowd. And Marcus is a very unique, awesome character. Pete's also quite unique, and
that German little twang just gives it an extra little bit of that.
Together, they're like brothers from different mothers. You know, Renee and I were more in the background a bit. We absorbed the more serious side of things, although we didn't have anything to do. He was doing all the serious stuff, but from the front of it, it seemed like, they were almost the mascots of the band.
But
sure.
It kind of works. I mean, I'm going to talk about the Kyle lineup, not about the lineup with Renee, but it's like Pete is a brilliant songwriter.
Just check this.
So Pete is a brilliant songwriter, and he's great at that.
Yeah.
Kyle and Mork, on the other hand, are brilliant musicians and masters at their instruments. So Kyle makes sure the stuff is tight. Mork just is one of the best guitarists around. He like puts in those little licks to like make it sound fantastic.
And he's a winner of an individual.
Yeah,
I really like him.
He's a stellar character.
Such a nice dude, eh?
Everyone brings their own strength, and I'm a good manager.
Such a good boy.
Yeah, man. I mean, you guys have really got a stellar setup, and the one thing I wanted to add is that Pete, you guys have your backing vocals and your chants, your group vocals. That's notorious for in the punk genre, but with Pete, he's got such a nice grainy voice. He's got that raspiness and
he's got that in the beginning when he was young. It got a bit nasally but it's, dude, I mean, I suppose 17 years, if you don't get better.
But who are you taking influence from? It's himself. That's who he is.
And if you say because the writing in the bands, like generally there is like a main songwriter that
sure.
Most of our stuff starts off with an idea, so somebody will bring a riff, but surprisingly the songs, a lot of them actually get written communally. And lyrics as well. For a lot of our songs, lyrics were written communally because often we would have a melody, or like the song on Taking Life Seriously 15 years down the line, like we just had that chorus line 15 years down the line for no fucking reason at all. and then it had the tone of a serious song. So Renee wrote this like almost like a Metallica clean guitar sort of intro, because it was a bit of a heavier song, and then I had, my dad had, was an addict, and Pete came to me. He's like, I wanted the song to be like meaningful, because we also had some friends that had OD'd and that kind of stuff. So we wanted it to be quite meaningful and that kind of stuff. So we wrote that, and then it's like sculpting. Somebody brings something, you add something else, you take a bit away, which has been really nice. Is that it's a lot of the songwriting is a group effort, but it does start. I mean, one of my best songs on the new album, which you guys are just gonna have to wait until it comes out.
Sure.
But I only finished writing the drums when I went to go track it in the studio.
Yeah.
Mork only whipped out the riff like fucking 3 weeks before.
Yeah, pretty much.
Before I had to go and track, and it's like the best song. But sometimes, again, when you've been playing guys for so long, you've got this almost subconscious connection. You feel what I feel, and then you
most certainly. I have the same thing with my band.
Years, you also
bands actually, because I just want to just say that at the same time, I know exactly what you're talking about. For instance, I've actually recently joined a band. Well, not recently. I've been in the band for over a year. Ill System. And they've been together since 2005.
The first gig we played with Ill System was about 2005. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and
also left-handed drummer, if I remember.
No. He's a right-handed drummer.
No, that
back
was
then
Ramon
was a left-handed
Rowe.
drummer.
Oh wait! Oh shit!
Yeah.
Okay, see, I didn't even know.
Back then it was
Like-
a left-handed drummer. That's
my
why I remember
bad.
it so clearly.
My bad. Sorry, dudes. I don't know. But that's it's almost like that vibe. I mean, I can feel it, even though I'm not an original member, and but I can feel that we've been around for a long time. We need to keep this going, etc., etc., and a general consensus that there's a strong bond.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
and
that's
that's
the
what
thing.
it is with you
Well,
guys.
that-
You
that's
also, after those years, you also know where each other's strength lies. It's like
Sure.
you respect that. Yes, you work together, you write the stuff together, you work on the stuff together, but there's just certain stuff you learn subconsciously. Carl does that better, Pete does that better, Mark does that better, I do that better.
Yeah, that's only
And
something
that's like
that you
how it
can tell
works.
over time.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you don't know that from day one.
Yeah.
It makes
Also,
it so
I mean-
much easier.
I've always said and maintained that, not measuring success in a monetary value, but 80% of the job of being in a band is the people you making music with.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Sorry. The people that you make.
Sorry,
I was just about to take a sip, Basil.
Take a sip.
No. The people that you're jamming with, the songs will come if you get the right ingredients.
That's
You'll be able to do something. It's maintaining that strong bond, the strong friendship. That's why when you start a band when you're much younger, because you're coming out of school, you hang out together and all that kind of stuff. It's much easier. But in this country, typically people, life gets in the way and people disband. We've always felt really strongly, and we just, like.
Amen, brother.
There we go.
Amen.
Don't
That's
say
all I
anything.
can say. I'm so happy about that. That really just brings absolute joy in the way I feel, because that's the way it should be.
Absolutely.
And that's the way everybody should look at it, exactly the same. Look, you can talk about marketing for days. You can talk about writing riffs for days. You can talk about drum tracks for days. You can talk about everything for days.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, you as a unit need to work together in order to create the outcome that you desire.
Yeah, it's not a one-man show. I mean, some bands are like, not necessarily one-man shows, but there's, like you said, there's somebody behind the driving wheel, there's somebody, passenger, somebody in the backseat comes up. What's made...
But for different parts, it's different people in the driving wheel.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely. So you've got certain responsibilities, but they come automatically on autopilot just by playing together for a long time. So like it says, you just accept the one person's strengths, and then they automatically do that on their own, and and so on. So the collectiveness,
It's an organic process.
absolutely.
So like you started, it says when it comes to managing, organizing stuff, I take the driving wheel. When it comes to writing a new riff, it's normally Pete that takes the driving wheel. But when it comes to making the songs awesome, adding in the melodies, adding in the right beats, it's Kyle and Mork that take.
Totally.
So
I mean,
that's completely natural. I mean, it's like everyone plays their part in some way, and you're not going to step on each other's foot, because if Carl says, but this is going to just sound better, it's going to make it tighter, and you play this bass note along when I hit this thing, it's going to work. And there's no doubt about it. So that's why
absolutely.
And
I mean,
and structuring as well. You know, like a lot of the time, getting that flow of the song, so the structure of the stuff as well. So I try to focus on that.
Yeah.
Not too much of late, but also try to get quite involved on the lyrical side. Pete's always wrote really good lyrics, but we've either got other serious songs or ridiculous songs.
Yeah, parody kind
Yeah,
of
you know,
songs.
The
It's
new
always
stuff
been quite
that we'll get
satirical,
to get to and say it's probably some of the deepest but best stuff we've written.
But the one thing I want to make a point is that do you know how you make something organic? Do you know the
I don't. I feel really.
Just
I
happens, I
I
guess.
feel like I've lost about 80 IQ points over here. It's like, no, make something organic.
No, you
I should know this.
you both are wrong. You
Okay.
just put a sticker on it, bro. Sorry, I just had to throw that in there, right? Okay, so we're gonna watch a video right
Yeah,
now.
let's. We were
What are we
talking-
gonna watch?
We started
What are
the
we-
conversation talking
Yeah, but
about.
we never end any conversations
We
at Papa
started
G's house. That's
talking
one
about-
thing that you need to know.
We started talking about our second album, Taking
Yeah.
Life Seriously.
Yeah.
So when we recorded Taking Life Seriously, we went on this Europe tour that we just spoke about a little
Mm-hmm.
bit. The first Europe tour, which was amazing. And we didn't even talk about it. We talked about driving to Joburg, but the Europe tour was great too. And we also decided we're going to do a music video because like we were a young punk band from Cape Town and bands around the world did music videos.
Except they didn't record them on
Is
little handy cams. That's
And
what we
I
had.
this was
just
before
wanna ask-
YouTube. This was before. What
Social
else do you
media.
have? Social media. This was before MySpace, way before Facebook was invented. So we did a music video that the world has never seen.
Oh yes. No, but tell me, I just want to ask you a question. You've done 2 overseas tours, right?
4.
What?
Well, 2 were full European tours.
3 were
Yes.
full European tours.
No, but the one that we were recording with Arthur from VOL.
Yeah, we did a little tour with him.
Oh,
That was
our
just in
our
Germany.
Tour, our
No,
tour.
Yeah.
Artur
Art-
Pereira.
Okay, I guess
Yeah.
we did 2
Our
European
tour.
tour, 1 Germany tour, and then another one where Art just like we did a couple of gigs with it. 1 gig with
One
Art.
gig. Yeah.
A
It started
couple.
with his 4
I
gigs,
didn't
and I
know
was
that.
like,
I love Art, dude.
Yeah.
Art's my chummy. I love that guy.
We recorded our.
Okay,
we
I didn't
recorded
know
one
that.
of the
I
albums
didn't
in
know
Berlin,
that.
and Kyle couldn't
Damn,
make
dude.
it. So
Art, I'm gonna be giving you a call in no time just to
and
find
he
out
was
how that
drinking when he
how
was
that
with
was.
us on tour in Germany.
He still drinks, dude.
No, he doesn't.
Doesn't he?
drink.
Okay, I didn't know that.
I was going to say a funny story, but
I was gonna
Um,
say a funny story.
But anyway, so this is Taking Life Seriously off our second album, Taking Life Seriously.
all right.
A video the world has never seen before, recorded on some dodgy camera somewhere in our practice room. Looks dodgy as hell, and I can't wait to see it again because I haven't seen it in like 15 years.
Let's do it. This is Taking Life Seriously by Half Price. Enjoy, guys.
Prozac I'm not on, sex I don't get. I'm a poor man, let's not forget that I'm not good looking and I can't get it up. I've got a cock job and I'm down on my luck. State of mind, the most amazing damn thing. If you simply don't care, good times can begin. You can't understand the grin on my face. Cape Town, South Africa is such a funny place. Are you ready to score? I'm an educated fool, not a serious Sam. I don't take life serious, it's the way that I am. I got no money, it's so funny. I started thinking, we all started thinking, shall we take our life more seriously? Stop excessive drinking. But I stopped thinking, we all started drinking, cause there is just no point in excessive thinking. Taking life so seriously. Some people complain so much every day. Chill on my friend and it'll all be okay. Take a page out of the DFG's book. I'm a happy free. Just take a look. I got no money. It's so funny. I started thinking. We all started thinking. Shall we take our life more seriously? Stop excessive drinking. But I stopped thinking. We all started drinking. Cause there is just no point in excessive thinking. Taking life so seriously. I'm taking my life so seriously. Go, go! Take it away, Biggie! If you think we're all selfish, arrogant, smug, send me tell you, man, that we ain't got no bugs. We got the cock jobs, but our lives are super rad. I can't wait to tell my kids how much fun their dad had. Prozac I'm not on, sex I don't get. I'm a poor man, let's not forget that I'm not good looking and I can't get it up. I've got a cock job and I'm down on my luck. I don't take my life too seriously. I don't have a problem, that's just me.
All right, that was Taking Life Seriously by none other than the legendary Half Price. Damn, dudes, I'm still so stoked that you guys are in studio.
Did you see how pixelated that video was?
Yeah, dude.
See how big his
I think
afro was?
everybody's gonna have a little comment and be like, dude, that was so back in the day that it's frightening, man.
And my afro between Renee's legs.
Yeah.
Classic, man.
Like golden shirts.
like literally one of the coolest, like, nostalgic things that one could see.
You know, again, like, you know, seeing all these old things is like, it brings a huge, like, element of nostalgia and just like, shit, we did that. You know, that was like awesome and just snowballs.
And I just remember that 2005 tour. It was epic. After Taking Life Seriously, we toured Europe. For
And
the
you,
first
yeah,
time.
you
We mentioned
did
this,
you did the Taking Life Seriously tour.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
It
Let's
was-
get into that, man.
Yeah, we toured. Kyle mentioned a bit earlier on how we got there for the first time.
Yeah.
So we toured with this other band called Anti-Maniacs.
Fucking awesome band.
And we went there, and again, we practiced like maniacs before the tour and said we need to be as tight as possible.
Sure.
And we used to, when we played in South Africa, we were crazy on stage, we did crazy shit. And I think that's why Sasha booked us. And we get there, and we're like just standing there, playing our instruments as good as possible. And like,
Three shows in.
3 shows in.
Well,
yeah.
we did 2 shows in UK, and then the next show was in Hoorn in Netherlands. So and then the other one was in Steenwijk, which was
That was the
South
full
End.
show. But,
The full show. So, but we stopped in Amsterdam. We go in a coffee shop. You know what happens over there. and Sasha says to us, he's like, "Look, I'm giving you one more show. If you don't bring the half price that I read about or that I've been
that
led
I
to
see
believe,
like on
I'm cancelling the
Vertigo.
whole tour." So we were like,
So they were expecting
yeah.
absolute
Expect
riots
crazy
kind of
antics
vibes.
that he heard about
Yeah.
like online.
You know, it's like whether there's 200 people there or 20 people.
You gotta do
gotta
this.
Pretend there's 20 fucking thousand people.
Yeah, yeah,
there,
yeah.
You know, so it was, and the other band was murdering us in the
Yeah,
first
and
3
they were
shows, you know.
epic. These guys were touring like everywhere. We spoke to them and said in the last year they had played like 150 shows. That's a show every second day.
I
Yeah.
remember
Oh,
Sasha
right.
drops that bomb, and then Renee walks in with this fucking 25 centimeter dildo from the section. He's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "Our tour might be cancelled." He's like, "Got this fucking dildo." Anyway.
It sounds absolutely crazy, man. I love it.
He told us like you got to pull your act together, or this is a waste of my time. And the tour.
So you said that they murdered you for the first
They
3
were
shows.
so tight, dude. I mean, we're playing on like gear that we're not used to. We had higher gear, all that kind of stuff. You're playing in like.
But we
weird
played
places.
tight.
We played tight. We just had no vibe.
We had no energy. We
You know, we were intimidated.
But
especially-
isn't that the same thing when you're trying to like you don't have your gear,
Yeah.
you don't have your amps,
No,
like
we-
you're a little
no,
bit
we felt
apprehensive.
like-
you don't know
we
what
felt
you're
like
gonna
we're in
get.
Europe now, we need to play tight as hell. The bands there,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
watch that tight, and he says no, they want to see the show, like just like.
See, that's the thing. Back then, a lot of people were intrigued by being from South Africa. Like, I didn't even know that there were
Yeah.
big bands in South Africa. But they get to see the best of the best, like almost on a monthly basis, basically. So your attraction is short-lived if you don't deliver the goods.
Sure.
You know? And then also touring, a big part of surviving on tour is selling a lot of merch, or that's your bread and butter. If you don't do a good show, you don't sell merch. So you don't go from A to B to C.
But we showed them in the first show in Steenwijk.
Oh
Yeah, Sasha, like after that, like Pete walks on stage, and he starts singing the song by himself.
I wish I remembered this.
And
but
I'm
anyway.
wearing, Pete had these ridiculous running shorts on. It's like he had them in his bag. It didn't come out. And I put on the ridiculous running shorts, and Pete starts the song by himself.
Yeah.
Renee walks out. Carl walks out. And as we're about to start this, like the whole band's about to start, I walk out just wearing these ridiculous running shorts. like nothing else.
That's brilliant, man.
It just went crazy.
But you guys do
And I
you
just
do
walked
tend
on
to
stage
get that
there, and it
that
just,
vibe.
It was just
eh?
nuts. And the next day, Sasha told us the Pickets to Pittsburgh joke, and from then on, it was an amazing tour. It was crazy. It was like
And
you can't even describe it.
we went again to Europe the next year because Sasha, the tour promoter, said if you don't come back in a year, this tour would be for waste.
Yeah.
So we recorded Band, which was our third album, again at B Shop. We named it Band because we were banned from the Jam for some fucking bullshit. But anyway,
Jam is Mercury now.
No, I know that. Yeah, I know the whole evolution
so
of
we, and
the
that
Jam.
was a slightly longer tour. That was
It was like
4
25 days,
Yeah,
but
20
it was only like 3 gigs more. We had more off
Yeah.
days. So it was
Off
21
days
days.
were expensive. You don't get free booze, free alcohol. Those are the two
Free
main
booze,
things.
free alcohol.
That's
None of
not
that,
bad.
bro.
We got both of it. Free booze and free alcohol.
And free alcohol.
Like
Shit.
what more do you want in life?
But the routing on the second European tour was like a bit all over. I mean, we drove like 16,000 k's on that second tour. You know,
That's
I mean,
nuts,
we had a show in Germany. Then the next show was in like southwestern France in Limoges. Only got there at like 11 at night. Literally offloaded the van, had a beer, set up, played, had a beer, packed the van, drove to Calais, driving past
Calais in France.
Yeah, Calais in France, driving past Paris at 4 a.m, and we had to get to Hull in England. So we're listening to AC/DC on the highway to Hull.
You
while
gotta
driving-
get the highway.
while driving. While driving, and then getting a ferry. And Marcus is so drunk, he's like, the ferry's gonna. He's like, I'm too drunk to puke under these conditions. You know?
How are you too drunk to puke, bro?
It's like fuck that I was with.
I kept having to catch my beer because I was sitting at the bar, and then the chip would do this, and then.
It's like I was trying to vomit, but then the boat moves, and I said, "Fuck, where's the toilet gone?"
Bucket here.
Yeah. And then you get to Dover. Now we've got to drive to fucking North England.
And then we get to Hull after being in France for 2-3 days. and we think,
I'm sure you ended
finally,
up in
somebody
hell, bro.
speaks English. We can ask for directions. We stop the car and say, "Sorry, man, how do we get to the South African club?" We played at the South African club.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
They paid us an arm and a leg for it. But
What was the
but
South
anyway-
African
What was the
club
South
called? Like
African-
not
But
walkabout
anyway,
or anything like that.
just a second before we get to that.
Yeah.
So we stop the car, say, "How do we get to the South African club?" And this local from Hull goes,
Yeah, shit, I
and
can't
we said,
understand anything.
"Is that English?" We understood that guy less than we understood the Oaks and France.
Fuck, I was like, we had a guy that was used to come to our shows in Cape Town that was living over there, and I was like, please tell me you got that, because I didn't understand.
I didn't get a thing. Yeah.
But the South African bar, the roadie that we had, Roddy,
He had cancer at the time.
yeah, he was in remission, you know, and he couldn't come on our first tour because he went off-road downhill skateboarding kind of thing. Anyway, broke his leg, broke his fucking ankle, so he couldn't come anymore. So he came on the second tour after.
So he survived cancer, then broke his leg.
No,
No,
survived the
he-
broken ankle, then survived cancer, and then
but
survived the half-price
on this
tour.
tour he had he
Whoa.
wasn't supposed to drink because he'd just come out of chemotherapy and everything.
But
and,
he spent all his money.
It sounds like he needs like some
and
sort
that
of
night he spent
massive
400
trophy.
pounds or something ridiculous
Castle.
on Castle
'Cause
Lager
they
at
sold
the
Castle
South
Lager
African
there
club.
at
Oh, my word.
2.75 a dumpy, and they had stuff red,
My
so you
word.
could buy. Fuck, dude. Yeah, it was good.
That's insane,
Still
man.
great. I jawled with him last weekend, so he's.
He's one of the.
You jawed with him last weekend, yet you've already made a trip overseas and back.
Yeah,
No, we jawled together in the UK last weekend.
He
We went there for a
combines business
wedding.
for pleasure.
We went there for a wedding, and the two of us flew up there together. So.
For my listeners, we've got half price here. 17-year-old legendary punk band, and their members are traveling all around the world for business, and geez, just showing them what's up. That's what I'm
hard.
saying.
It's like,
Damn.
there's day half price in our respective jobs, and then there's day individuals that are in the band. And
Yeah,
half
dude.
price at night, and they are fucking as stark difference in contrast as night and fucking day. You know.
Totally. You guys are all max profesh. Maximum professionals,
Play
man.
hard, work hard. That's always been the motto.
I love that. I think that's the best thing ever because the same goes for me. I've got my day vibe and I've got my bands and I've got my now my podcast.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, by the way. Please like, share, subscribe and all that kind of jazz. But I think what we should do is we should talk about what's next. What is even next? I don't even know.
So I think maybe we've been talking for a while here.
Suicide Bomber.
Let's should we show Suicide Bomber?
I think we should. Okay. This is also something that's for you guys that have been listening. And thank you so much also for all the subscriptions and the messages and all that kind of jazz. I'm going to address all that kind of stuff later. But we're going to listen now to Suicide Bomber.
And this was filmed at Raw, so another iconic thing. I mean, Antonio, we all know
100%.
How much he's helped the local scene.
Oh,
so
definitely, yeah.
it was nice. It was on a Sunday afternoon.
So,
Had to play to the backing track on a little ghetto blast like this. And thank
Dude,
God
that's
for
nuts.
Neil. If Neil wasn't there, I wouldn't be able to get. I hit a snare drum and you can't hear the song, and now you got to like play in time. And as we've discussed before, we're not
Sure.
the best with metronomes and stuff. We didn't even fucking know what they were.
no, yeah.
I find that very hard to believe still right now as we're talking about it, that I mean, I as I know you now, you rip, bro.
Thank you, yeah.
And you've got, and the one thing about it, and the one thing about it is that you've got that beautiful
Huge kit.
no, it's a huge kit, but you've got that
The rack, yeah,
that's it, yeah. And
I like
it just
racks,
makes
yeah.
everything look even
Did
me,
you have
bro.
the rack when we did the band album?
We did actually in Suicide Bomber.
Okay,
You'll see
yeah.
the rack
Okay.
set up.
Cool.
So guys, do you want to take it away?
This is Band. It's
Suicide
Suicide Bomber off our album Band. It was our
Released
third
2006.
album, released in 2006. Was the second album we did on the Red Ambulance. And
And the European tour that followed, we called Banned from South Africa because we were banned from Mercury, which was then the Jam back
yeah,
then.
so
Yeah.
we spoke about both those tours just now.
Sure.
This was 2006, and
This was probably the height of our naughtiness.
Yeah, this
basically.
was just before we started our professional lives, and we took things very seriously. The band was everything.
I think you can also tell the difference in the quality of video.
Oh, yeah, you certainly can't tell the difference.
No, but that's also just a time-based thing.
Because I also haven't seen this one in about
Okay,
15 years.
well, let's check it out.
Let's have a look.
Marcus, tell us what it is.
Suicide Bomber. Let's put it
Suicide
on.
Bomber by Half Price, and we'll be back shortly.
Out on the streets with a message to send. We're out of control and it's never gonna win. Falling dry and screaming out of hell, I'm insane. Rocking in a riot. Chaos in the club and the pit is headed my way. Think I'm gonna die, I know I'll be okay. Everybody's thinking what they wanna be. I'm living each day, my life for me. Hey! Hey! My life, not yours. Hey! My life, not yours. It's a one-way ticket and I'm never coming back. It's a one-way ticket when you cross over the track. It's a one-way ticket, you're under attack, 'cause I'm a suicide bomber. Chaos in the club and the pit is headed my way. Think I'm gonna die, I know I'll be okay. Everybody's thinking what they wanna be. I'm living each day. Whoa, got a bomb in my head. Whoa, they try to make me say, but they can't stop me. We won't for me. Try to live my life for me, and try to live what can be seen for me. My life, not yours. For me, my life, my cause.
Welcome back. That was Suicide Bomber by the legendary Half Price. Dudes, how has the last 10 years of this band felt? Tell me.
Yo, like
Fast
Suicide
forward.
Bomber was 10 years ago, and I still remember every second. After that, we've done a lot of stuff. I mean, but it felt
Goes so
time
quickly.
sped up after this. Those first 4 years took a long time, and the next 10 years kind of just went. And now suddenly it's 2017. It's 2018.
Yeah.
Isn't that the way things go though? I mean, just as time goes on, also with the more
The years
stuff
go
that-
quicker.
but also the years go quicker, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 34 years old now. Like
too.
it just
84,
it
baby.
just
High
it
five.
just
Me
yeah.
too, me too.
It just carries on, and there's nothing you can do about it. But the thing is, the thing that doesn't degrade is your enthusiasm
Yeah.
for a specific thing.
Yeah.
How has that translated in the last, let's say, 10 years? Because you guys have had the same lineup for the last 10 years.
So after that album Band, we slowed things down a little bit as a band. It's not because we wanted to slow things down, but
The scene also changed towards the late 2000s. Indie became very big then. A lot of punk bands weren't around
Yeah.
anymore. So, you know, you go through stuff. So it was good up until Monotony of Monogamy, and then afterwards it was okay.
Mom.
Mom. There you
yeah,
go.
Mom.
But then we hit it.
Which was the next album. I'll
Yeah,
tell you
yeah,
something
yeah.
about it right now. Yeah.
Okay, am I fast forwarding?
Yeah, you're fast forwarding a bit
Okay,
too
then-
Stop
I think-
fast
I think
forwarding,
you should- I
Carl.
think you
Come
should
on,
talk.
man.
So basically, it was after band, we decided we want to do things at the right quality, more for us. It wasn't about the audience anymore. It was around about the time we finished studying. We all got jobs, proper jobs. So we said we're gonna do things the proper way. We want to do things properly. We don't want to do any dodgy shit like that video that you saw earlier on that we filmed for ourselves. I mean, it was fun. It was a
Sure,
joy.
absolutely.
And I don't have any regrets, but we wanted to figure out high quality stuff. So we recorded Mom, and for that we went out all the way.
Sure.
A
was-
guy
that was
from
that was a
Germany
man-
approached us and said don't we want to produce you? And
Yeah, you see the Archie from Terror Group here, which is kind of like they were a massive punk band.
they were signed to Epitaph at the
Yeah,
time.
they're almost
yeah.
like Europe's
Epitaph?
version. Yeah, almost
Serious?
like Europe's version of No Effects, but you know it's sang in German and English.
Yeah.
Great band. So, Archie,
the vocalist. Yeah.
the vocalist, we were writing demos, and first the deal with the label was we had the two projects, so Taking Life Seriously and Band. The third album was going to be a joint venture. But when we started sending demos, they weren't that keen, because also we wanted to make this thing massive. We wanted like a magazine for, instead of a CD cover, like 60 full color kind of.
This was
thing.
also the kind of, at that time,
We
CD
wanted to
was dying.
explode.
Like CD was not really a thing anymore. People were moving to listen to online music. So we
Yeah.
said, this, if you want to release this on CD, it has to be something spectacular.
So we were doing demos at Sasha and Pascal Regini. They're from
Okay.
the Hoax and then
Plastics.
their little home studios. We were doing that, and we would send demos to Red Ambulance. They weren't quite keen on the stuff, and then Markus and Adam went to go sit with Archie, because he was going to produce us, you know. And then the one song Community Service, which
It
is
started like Pete going, "Have you ever fucked a fatty in the face? I know you have." And like Archie goes, "What is this thing? But it is some kind of concept. I love it."
But the funny
I
thing
love
is,
it.
It was the last track out of the 4 out of that group of demos, and Mark's like, I hope he doesn't get to track 4, you know. And he puts it in. He's like, I'm going to start with the last track. So that was the first track he heard.
Oh,
It's
wow.
This is, what concept is this? You know. It's like,
Sounds like a fashion designer, bro. What concept is this?
and he, by the time we could get the funds, I mean, he gets booked like a year in advance, like for his studio
Wow.
and stuff like that. And then we couldn't get him anymore, so he referred us to Music Lab in Berlin. Harris John, eh?
Harris
Harris
John,
John did
Einstürzen Neubauten,
Conqueror,
Sepultura.
Sodom. He did Sepultura, Chaos City, the Live Chaos, Third World Chaos DVD.
Wow.
He did, I think, Slipknot's the live album. He mastered
He
that.
got a platinum record.
He's got platinum records
for
I mean,
Tankard, I think.
Yeah, and Slime. He'd done a lot, like much more on the metal stuff, but they didn't really know about this like ska African nude rock basically because we played naked a lot of the time back then.
You guys played naked?
I've only played once, but he's done it many a time.
Like completely naked?
Of course.
Yeah. Is there any
Lovely.
other way?
Well, I'm not a
Surprisingly,
hater.
It's actually very liberating.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not a hater.
So he hooked us up with his mate, and he was used to recording metal, and he said, like, go there. He said, I'll still sing a song for you guys. I'll still want to do the guest vocal
I
parts.
sang the verse that I wrote. You know, I was stoked about that.
So he, so we recorded with this legendary metal studio in Berlin. We recorded an album, and it was.
That's
It
nice,
was
man.
bass and drums recorded at B Sharp, and then guitars and vocals, mixing and mastering, all happened in Berlin. But
that's also when Art came over and we played that one show with.
Okay,
Art.
sweet.
Yeah.
And Art came to see you in. Like he was overseas with you
No,
guys.
we just were recording there, and then some guys asked us if we could play a show. It was meant to be 4 shows. Kyle couldn't make it, so Art could, and then we flew Art over to do it.
Yeah.
That's nuts. He's never told me anything.
Art actually, I met Art and Lorne. They were in my latest X. We played at Hunclip. What was it? Slashfest.
Slashfest,
Or
Hunclip
some-
Hotel.
anyway,
yeah.
something like that. And this was Dirty Locals, and then we were the first band on, or third band. Anyway, and that's how we got to, drummers can fucking talk about drum shit for ages. And
Sure.
that's how me and Francois and Vaynon from Forklift were doing the sound. We used to pay Francois and Vaynon from Forklift to do our sound at Purple Turtle. I mean, that just shows you.
Yeah,
you
dude,
know,
that's
how
nuts.
Things
But
change.
the thing is, that's
I still
awesome. That's
remember
as
when-
I've also even chatted to Art of possibly being a potential co-host of this show. Like we've
remember
chatted, dude.
Yeah, he's a great
Such
guy.
an amazing dude.
Genuine
Art.
guy. Online, he's
fuck
very
yeah, dude.
very pessimistic, but I enjoy that.
No, but I don't think
he's
he's
a-
pessimistic.
No,
I
no,
think he just gets the rise,
Yeah,
bro, and he
He's
gets
a
the
great
right
act,
rise.
man. He's
Yeah.
a great act.
Yeah, I love him.
And he's a solid drummer. Just.
I saw VOL for the first time, like recently, like in the last like 2-3 years, and dude, the guy's just got so much style.
He does. You know what I mean? That's the thing. I mean, it's like he also comes from the same sort of cut from the same sort of cloth. All the drummers we like are the heavy hitters. Not modern heavy drumming has gotten very technical.
Yeah,
Almost like way too mathematical kind of thing.
yeah.
Just that it's more mind nowadays and less feel and soul. Whereas
Sure.
he's got a lot more feel, which I respond to. So he came to our practices and filmed and that kind of stuff to see what I was doing. So yeah, he was the right guy to.
100%, man. Well, I never knew that, so I think that's absolutely amazing. Guys, let's watch. Let's get into another a segue into another video.
Yeah, let's watch another video, I guess. Because
Yeah, we need to talk about our
Bring me into it. Bring me
let's
into
talk
it.
about a new album. So
Okay, let's do that. Let's do
I'll
that.
give you a 3 seconds countdown from like then 2008 to 2018.
18.
So 10 years in 2 seconds.
Damn.
So
No.
basically-
Let's not like bring it down to 2 seconds. Let's actually just
Okay.
give it the time that it
so,
deserves.
but yeah, you're right. Let's watch another video.
Yeah.
So I'm going to interrupt you because you stalled. So Monotony of Monogamy, we did pre-production with Sasha and Pascal for about 2 years, sending demos, going back and forth. Eventually recorded it in Joburg as well as Berlin. Released it as
nuts.
a 64-page like
Smut
smut magazine.
magazine.
We actually were even talking to Adult World if they wanted to have exclusive rights to sell our disc only at Adult World.
Whoa.
Pete, that was.
I think it was Adam
It
actually.
was
still,
actually Adam, yeah. Never happened. It would have been cool, but didn't happen.
Yeah, dude.
But it was a huge statement.
But you guys really made you really made an effort to go, hey,
Yeah.
this could be an avenue. This could be an avenue. This could be an
What actually
avenue.
changed between the previous 2 albums and that album and the ethos that we've kept since then is we're going to do what we want to do at our own pace.
Sure.
If it takes 4 years, if it takes 5 years, we're going to do it. But we're not going to release a half-assed job. We're going to do everything properly.
I think also
And
the
only
fun,
if we enjoy it, we will do it.
And also,
as the money flows in, we will do it. If there's not enough money, as you said, the finance.
Look, I mean, that album took like about 3 years.
Well, I think it took longer. We started in 2006, we released in 2010 now. And we changed members halfway through. Renee decided to move back to Namibia. We still recorded the first half of the album. The first 90% of the album, and then we got
First
Mork.
90%.
Mork, who's the guy who we offered
from the beginning.
Guitar plays back when we wanted a fourth member in the band. We offered it to Mork first, and he said, "Get fucked. I want to sing."
But the timing wasn't right. I mean, there's
but it took his natural progression to go. I don't want to do this now, but I may be able to do it later. So I'm going to do it later. And he did that.
Later, he did it, and now we've been with the same 4 Oaks in the band for 10 years now.
But no regrets at the same time, because that's what he wanted to do. That's his thing. And now he's shining with you guys.
And that's the other thing, like we're talking about the last 10 years, is the last few years, I mean, Pete's married, he's got a kid and stuff like that. So, again, the band's going to be the band. And we want to do stuff. We want to go on tours, obviously. We want to record. We want to do videos, all that kind of stuff. But we don't have any, in the first 10 years or the first 8 years, it was like, we've got to do this, we've got to do it now.
Yeah.
It was like, if we don't do this, people are going to forget about us. We have to do this.
The band's going to make it. The band's going to make it. And then we realized that's never going to fucking happen. And we always did this for ourselves anyway. So we do stuff at our own pace, at our own time. And what's nice is that we do what we want, and however long it's going to take us to get there, we never regret what we do in terms of
being the ambiguous situation that it is. We're going to get there. We're going to get where we want to be. There is where we want to be.
Absolutely.
Not there where anybody else dictates where we are.
Stuff, but when, I don't fucking know. It's going to happen.
The stuff we spoke about for now, this first 7 years, it was legendary stuff that we did.
Absolutely.
It really is. Like, people still up to this day come up to me and said, "Yo, you guys were pioneers when you did this stuff." And
I don't disagree by any stretch of the imagination.
But the last 10 years, in my opinion, was some of the best stuff we ever produced as a band together. It took our time. We did Monogamy in 2010. Then 2013.
There's an old saying that the band really comes together after about a decade.
Yeah.
If you can keep the core group or the core ethos.
That's it. That's when the real.
Yeah, because that's when it's like, we've paid our dues. That whole sort of adrenaline to try and do everything in like a month. You know what I mean? You want to do you want to do it all. But just go slowly.
It just doesn't really happen that way. It really doesn't happen that way.
Kind of like putting a veil over your eyes, kind of thing, because you think it's gonna happen. I think that's why a lot of bands end up breaking up or disappearing, because after a couple of years and nothing big happens,
or members for that matter,
and nothing big happens or nothing substantial what they've had in their preconception, or their idea kind of stuff doesn't happen. And it's like, okay, well, let's just call it. And again, like, who was the wise person that Peter was? It you that said the band? Anyway, like we said, in this country,
I think it was Pete. Yeah.
If
Actually, I think it was George who first said it, but anyway.
Not monetary success, but I find our band successful for, when you say that, for none of those reasons, but for the experiences, the people I've met, the memories, all that kind of stuff is highly successful, and it wouldn't have happened if we wouldn't have been around for as long as we have.
100%, without a doubt.
Success is about, that we were friends over all these years, and that's what's more important than anything else.
Yeah.
100%.
And in the last 10 years, a lot of things, you mentioned Pete becoming a father, we still carried on. Yeah. I got a job offer in Germany for 2 years, I disappeared to Germany for 2 years, the band still carried on.
Yeah.
Pete traveled around the world for 4 months. The band still carried on.
Yeah,
I traveled around the world for 3 months. The band still carried on, and it's like that's what makes the band successful. Is like,
just going to make sure that you've got your solid base.
It still happens,
and it's the understanding. You want to do your shit, that kind of is cool. But as long as we still know you, when you come back, you want to do the stuff. You know what I mean?
And, totally.
And everybody's got that. Everybody's cool with each other. We all know. Like, if I just say, guys, I've got a job offer. It's going to see me out in Joburg or whatever it is for the first year, so we'll have to play very minimal gigs. I'll come back every 2 or 3 or 4 months or whatever it is. I know the other 3 guys will say, cool.
Whatever. I mean?
Yeah, totally. You've got to be amenable for whatever situation you're posed with.
Yeah. It's difficult in the beginning because you feel like, okay, you're just like not putting the effort in, but after almost 2 decades, it's like you've put the effort in. And again, and this is when you really realize, like, for the whole time I've been a bit misguided because I thought I was doing it for much larger reasons, but actually I was just doing it for myself.
Yeah.
Helping me have a cool life.
100%.
Isn't that what we started off this interview with? It's about myself.
Yeah, they brought some notes and they're like, what are we going to talk about? Me.
And then maybe the band.
But anyway, it worked for us as well.
Totally.
I mean, we recorded in 2013. We released another album
That's
called
it.
Program to Party. We toured Europe again,
No, just
which
Germany.
was probably just Germany.
Awesome tour.
Which probably, in my opinion, was still my favorite Europe tour. We
Sure.
did Germany tour.
Played with a cover band. What are they called? Circle Jerks.
Circle Jerk. I know
It
Circle.
was a Circle Jerks cover band called Flag Jerks.
Flag Jerks. So Black Flag and Circle Jerks.
Yeah.
So they did the song. And then the guitarist asked us, he's like, listening to your guys' stuff, you like your alcohol. He's like, have you ever heard of a band called Gangrene?
Gang.
Yeah. And he's like, the song Alcohol. And we're like, no. And it's like, we're sitting at his house and we're about to go do sound checks. And he's like, well, let's just learn it. So he's playing it. Mork and Pete learn the guitar thing. At sound check, we played it for the first time. And then we just jammed it. And that's what's so nice. If you just got that, if everybody's just so cool and like comfortable with each other. I mean, I could never
There's
think
nothing,
that I could
nothing
learn a
better
song
could
like,
happen.
literally in a take in sound check and to be tight. You
And
know?
it was
It can't be better than that, man.
Dude, and that was what made that tour so much more epic than the first two tours, was because it was so relaxed. It was like two bands touring together as friends.
But you just gel from day
like
one.
Yeah,
jamming
totally.
Shit. Like the first two tours was always there was that pressure on we've got to accomplish something.
This is
We've
our
gotta
chance
accomplish
to
something.
make it.
This is
you
our
know?
chance.
And
Yeah,
And then, like
yeah.
suddenly like
The band's gonna fucking make it,
as
man.
soon as that pressure was off, like 5 years later, we're touring around Europe, and we had the best times of our lives. We like the one off day we had, just like swimming naked in that lake.
Lake
Cannibal.
Cannibal Lake.
Cannibal Lake. Yeah.
Cannibal Lake.
But you know, the thing is that if you focus too much on what you want to happen after the show, you actually miss the moment. You're not enjoying the moment. You're not enjoying your set. You kind of just like, I got to play Tyler. Who's watching? Who's gonna like come talk to us after?
Yeah.
And you actually
I
miss
suffer
it.
with that
Yeah,
big
and
time.
you're actually missing out on all the fun. So that's what happens. So it's like, you know, people are enjoying it. It's cool. I'm enjoying it. And now when we go on tour and do that kind of stuff, it's like, yeah, we want to play shows, we want to do stuff, but we want to have a holiday together.
And we
Yeah,
enjoy
yeah, yeah.
every moment together.
And we had to
It's
have
so much.
fun, and whatever comes from it comes from it. Like, sure, you
And-
can't just fucking drop the towel and like, you know, not perform well.
And you
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
that one show in Pimmeldorf?
Pimmeldorf, yes, the
Not a
40%
single person
corn
showed
beer.
up. Not a single person showed. Pimmeldorf.
Not a single person.
The town is called Immeldorf,
Yeah.
and
And the beer was so shit, we called it Pimmeldorf.
We're changing to Pimmeldorf, and Pimmel is German. It means
Penis.
penis. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and Dorf is village. So it's penis.
Okay, Penis Village.
And
The beer
like,
that we got for free was like 40%
and
corn.
there was literally
Oh,
nobody there.
no.
And the two
Yeah.
bands played. There was an opening band, and the three bands basically played for each other. But it was a slippery floor. So Pete lay down in front of the flag
Kick
jerks, kicked drum that it wouldn't slide forward.
and then their
and like-
singer
and
did
like-
it for me when I
And
was
like we had such a jaw, and like, but that's what it is about. Like nobody
That's
rocks
amazing,
up,
man.
you still have a good time. The next night we played an amazing show to a packed crowd, but that's part of the tour life. It's
Part
like
of
you're
the
there
journey,
with
man.
your friends, and you just. It's not the two guys that paid their entrance in Pimmeldorf. It's not
two
their
guys
fault.
that pay the entrance to Penis Village.
Yeah, it's not their fault that nobody else came. So you might as well give them the time of their life.
Totally.
I'm sure those two I still remember that to this day.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
give
for
two
sure.
guys the time of their life in Penis Village.
I'm sure you
Wow, yeah.
were playing the drums.
I was
amazing.
drinking the corn beer that made me
No,
feel.
but anyway, it was amazing, yeah.
time of my life.
It was,
But
so
guys,
cool.
we must get to this next video,
Yeah, we
man.
must,
I'm no, but just because I'm frothed.
Yeah.
I'm frothing for this video.
But
Tell me about it.
I don't want to tell you about the video.
Why
yet.
not?
Come
Tell
on,
me.
I want to tell you about the 1 year in between, like
Okay, well, let's do this. Let's do it.
because like shit obviously worked because like some American oak came down here. The American guy, you remember him? Robert
The
Groves.
American.
Yes. Punk Outlaw Records.
Yeah, so
Okay.
he said like he came down, watched us in our practice room, and we gave him all the stuff, and he loved it so much. He said, "I want to release a best of album of half price in the United States," and
So yeah, that's what happened. What started? He does a travel program called World
Okay.
Travel.
Yeah.
So he goes around to like all different places around the world. But because he's a punker, when he goes to a new country, the first thing he does is find out about the local punk scene and who the bands are, and go and meet them or watch a show of them or something like that. So he came to our practice room, and the filmed us and that kind of stuff, and it's kept going, and he just really liked our stuff, you know. And then he's like, I run this label, Punk Outlaw Records, so I'd like to release a best of you know your catalog basically, and you know, can't promise you, I don't know how much you would get, but like, you know, whatever we sell, you'll get X amount of percentage.
But we'll do our best.
And we're like,
you know?
dude, it's fucking more than we're doing, so just go for it. And you're a rad dude, so just hit it, you know. Yeah.
Shit,
And
that's
the guy
incredible.
actually worked his ass off, and when I went to New York last week,
Such a really
last
cool
year,
guy as well.
Did you catch up with him?
I just phoned him up and said, I'm coming to New York. I was just like going through there. He said like, yeah, when are you coming? And I said, he said, I'm leaving to Iceland the day after you come. Let's hook up for a beer. And do you have accommodation? And we said, not really. He says, so my place is very small, but like when I leave to Iceland, how about you just stay in my flat at Times Square?
No.
So I said, like,
you gotta be shitting
That's
me.
why
man.
No, dead
such
serious.
a genuine guy,
It's like
such a good
literally-
oak, you know.
Just
The
like
night
after
before-
all those years.
Yeah.
He's
The night
like, you just
before
stay
was
in my
like-
spot.
I met him. We met him once in Cape Town. When he met us, he signed us. We signed a contract. He released our album over there. I go there, and he
About a
lets
year
us sleep.
later, and he's like, yo, just stay at
And
my
he says,
crib.
just stay at my place. Stay at his place for free in Times Square, and yeah. So we.
Really?
Dude,
I think
Yeah.
we're
That's
the-
insane.
I think we're still the first and only punk band from South Africa that were signed or are signed to an American label.
Yeah, not
More
yeah.
like it, yeah.
So I'm glad you said punk band because I'm like, it can't be the only band.
Yeah,
Sure,
the only
sure
punk
would've
band.
remembered
Yeah,
that
the only
kind of-
punk
Listen, we're not talking about Bullet Script, yeah?
Is Bullet Script signed to an American label?
I fucking hope so, but I do not.
But that's
I can't
wicked, dudes.
confirm.
That
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even know that. I
No,
mean,
but
it's so. When I mean, I know you've recently seen him, but when did this all take place?
So, well, he released the album in 2015, I think. Or?
Yeah, about 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's online.
Yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean? So you.
Oh, you can buy it on iTunes
Just
and shit.
give it a plug. See where you tell
Yeah.
everybody where you can
Yeah.
find it.
So I think you can find iTunes, Spotify.
Okay, so all major
usual
streaming
shit, yeah.
platforms,
It's called,
Bandcamp or
It's
anything
called
like that.
Straight Out of South Africa. Yeah, Bandcamp. You can
Okay,
get it.
yeah, yeah.
that,
Go
that
check
wasn't
it
our
out.
name for it.
No.
That was.
That was what he wanted to call it.
Straight
He
out.
said-
Oh,
he
okay,
said-
so that
he
wasn't
said it
your
would
title.
Draw attention. I suppose Americans. I mean, Trump
Yeah.
for president.
Straight out of the
so,
side.
yeah.
So he probably
you know.
was probably the most chance of us getting a couple of listens.
So he came up with the idea, but
Yeah.
behind the name
Well,
of
it might
the.
have been him or a secretary.
Look, I mean,
don't
you
know.
you got to look at it from a promoter's point of view. I mean, he's seeing things from
Yeah.
his side, you're
No.
seeing things from your side. So I can
I s-
imagine.
I suppose
No,
for us,
There-
we gave him complete freedom. I said, do with it.
No,
what
100%.
you
I
want
mean,
to,
you
like,
get signed, and you're like, okay, cool, yeah. What do you want to do? Sweet,
It
sounds
sounds a
good.
lot
We'll
more
write
extra-
the music.
it sounds a lot more extravagant than what like it really is. You know, when say you get signed, even when we were like Red Am, it's just like your version of like getting signed to a record label. You think, okay, that's it, it's game on, but it's not. That's just
No, no,
I
no.
don't have to work another day in my life.
That,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
just means that they're willing to lend you some money that you can pay
Well,
them
not even,
back.
It's just they're willing to take a chance and spend some of their own money on you without wanting like a big
100%,
return,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, and you know, for punk and a lot of DIY stuff, it's not mainstream. It's not anything like that. So, you know, whatever help you can get, and to get your music out there for somebody who's literally putting it out there. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, once your music's on the internet, it's out there for everybody. But to somebody to promote it is difficult. So.
Sure, 100%.
Yeah.
Dude, that's insane. We're going on an hour and a half.
Shit,
I
we-
we gotta
think,
get fucking going.
I
no,
think-
no.
I think let's
Let's check
fast
this
forward
video.
to now because we're actually doing some new shit.
Exactly. Let's
and
do
we're
this.
about to release a new album. We're still
So
in the
hard it
process
hurts,
of-
bro. It's
yeah,
so hard it hurts.
So we're doing a split album with a Live at Midnight together.
Yeah, bro.
And we're still in the process of mastering this stuff. But we've already shot a music video, which is a rough edit.
But it
And
sounds good and it's a
it
rad
sounds
video.
good. It
Are
sounds
we
good, it looks
exclusively showcasing this on Papa G's
good.
house?
Nobody besides the two band has seen the stuff. This is not a completed product. It's still going to be made look better. But I think it's so spectacular that I think we should actually put it on the show.
Is this permission, boys?
I'm a yes man.
All right.
Yes, yes, yes,
Okay. All right.
Rough edit,
So-
rough mix, but the real deal is going to be released in about a 6-8 weeks time. Sort of. Let's give it a watch.
All right. So this
So
is
hard as
exclusive to Papa G's house. A
Absolutely.
first ever seen footage of Half Price's new music video. What is it called, gents? Just lead me
It's
into
called-
it.
it's the split track with the live.
So Hard It Hurts.
So Hard It Hurts.
Yeah.
And it's half price and Alive at Midnight together, so it's not just us. But
Sure. Half price, Alive at Midnight. I love those dudes. I love Migs, Grumble.
Yeah.
Uh,
it's Migs on guitar, Mork on guitar,
yeah.
Markus
Mork.
on bass. Yeah, Mork, and then me on drums, Grumble and Pete on vocals. So it's like a whole.
And Ollie on
joint
backing
effort.
vocals.
Okay,
Yeah.
sick. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was the two bands, but it's
Oh,
it's
yeah,
a
it's a-
mixture
it's
of
a-
the bands together
Yeah.
in one.
We wrote the
Oh,
song
wow.
Well,
together.
it's
Okay,
actually
cool.
everybody in the band features except Alive at Midnight's drummer, which is Brandon.
Yeah.
Other than that, everybody's involved.
Okay, sick. That's incredible, man. Well, shout out to Alive at Midnight. I'm no doubt gonna have them on their own episode.
Absolutely.
I mean,
fucking hope
I
so.
couldn't split this, guys.
Yeah,
I
it's
really
too
couldn't
much.
because 17 years. I've just had Patrick Davidson from Metal for Africa, Mind Assault, Terminatrix.
Another stellar guy.
Another stellar guy,
Definitely,
absolutely,
yeah.
without a shadow of a doubt. He's going to be back as well.
Okay.
But it's very hard to cram so many years into one minute hour and a half
especially
episode.
with the sauce, we go on tangents. But
Hey man,
that's
but
what
it's
the
all
fun
no, but
happens.
that's I don't care about the source.
Yeah.
I don't care about anything else other than the fact that you guys are here talking to me and we're having a good time,
Yeah.
which we are, as far as I can,
Absolutely, yeah, dude.
as far as
Having a
great time.
as far as I can.
It's going a lot better
see?
than anticipated. Usually, I
One
see
time.
a penis
I forgot
with
that I flew
Yeah.
this morning. I'm having such
Exactly,
a lekker time.
and
Right.
so I'm very stoked about that. It's very hard to cram all that into one episode, but you guys will be back, no doubt. It's 17 years. In 5 years' time,
So-
you guys are still going to be
No,
rocking.
So when I'm 50, fuck, I can't do
We'll
that.
come back for our 50th.
But we'll come here for our 50th.
No, definitely. Hey, listen,
50th,
if I'm
Marcus
still
is
going by
51st.
then, if I'm still alive by then, but
So hard it hurts.
So Hard It Hurts by Half Price and Alive at Midnight. It's one of the best ideas I've come across. I think it's great, and congratulations to you guys. The production's great, the sound's great, the video is just nuts.
Yeah.
So everybody enjoy Half Price, Half Price and Alive at Midnight split EP. So Hard It Hurts.
My body's a petrol bomb. I got a feeling in my bones that I'm not gonna make it. I'm broken up every day I die, but every night I'm born again. One night with all price and I wanna kill myself. It's time to take it, hate to put it on the shelf. Cause we still got so many years of this shit. I wanna live it, I wanna feel it. So hard. I wanna feel it. So hard. And to explode. So hard. I wanna feel it. I wanna live it and I never let it go. Trying to pick ourselves up for the weekend. So hard, so hard. We believe in access, but it's so hard, so hard. Trying to pick ourselves up for the weekend. So hard, so hard. Kickstart your body. So hard, it hurts. Hey, 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 hey. Broop, broop. Tell myself to get up, but I don't wanna go. The boys are here and we're headed to a show. I said, fuck man, is this really real? Where's the devil? I need to make a deal. Alive at midnight and I'm feeling the rush. A supersonic wave of self-destruction. We're gonna die when the sun comes up, yeah. We're gonna party, gonna live. So hard, I wanna feel it. So hard, and to explode. So hard, I wanna feel it. I wanna live it and I never let it go. Trying to pick ourselves up for the weekend. So hard, so hard. We believe in access, but it's so hard, so hard. Trying to pick ourselves up for the weekend. So hard, so hard. Kickstart your body. So hard, it hurts. Kickstart your body, whoa. Kickstart the heart in me, whoa. So hard, I wanna feel it. So
So hard. So hard it hurts.
So hard it hurts. Yeah.
I feel fairly emotional after watching that. I saw a good few clips of Ollie Swaggerson in there.
On the one shot, it looks like we're pulling into each other.
Dude, it's amazing.
I can swear we did not.
That's 2018. And an exclusive, and a very exclusive Papa G's House feature.
Yeah.
Because nobody's ever seen that before. It's not even finished.
It's a rough cut.
It's a rough cut.
mix. Yeah.
Thank you so much, dudes, for letting
that's even
me
doesn't
feature
even have
that.
the final mixes on it, so it's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
No, thank you, guys.
No, thank you.
Seriously. But listen, let's wrap up the what we're talking about with your new album, your split EP coming with Alive at Midnight. What can we expect? What's happening? Let's cap this motherfucker off.
Well, it started. I mean, we Lankud homies with Alive at Midnight. Look, doing a split album is nothing new. I mean, Fuzzy Gish did one with Friends of Rom. A lot have done it, but it's something that should happen a bit more, especially because the scene is so small and connected here. You know,
punk rock is not about one singular band. It never has been. It's about the scene.
Absolutely,
so it's like a split album is what actually.
And we have
takes you right back to the root of punk rock, in my opinion.
And we have such a good time when both bands together when playing shows. Why not let's do a
sure.
whole project together?
One time.
You know, go on tour, do an album. The album we recorded at Cloud Studios, Dean Bailey.
Mm-hmm.
Also really good.
Sabertooth boy.
Sabertooth. Horrorcast.
Yeah.
I mean, jeez, man.
Sean,
I went to the first Ramfest, by the way, that where Horrorcast and all of them played.
It's so funny because when we finished tracking, he just went on a 2-month European tour with
Sean Koch.
Yeah. And then we came back to do some final mixes, and I think he left today or he's leaving tomorrow to go again for another month or two. But just really attentive, really comfortable environments. Probably my best studio experience ever. You know, like spent time on cymbal choices, drums, miking positions, everything like that. And it just worked really well, you know. Half the album we actually really finished while tracking in the studio. But you can expect it's probably the biggest kind of songs Half Price have done. Deepest, but it'll still have that element. I mean, we can't change who we are. But it just everything, it was a very organic album. You know, stuff wasn't fixed 100%. Nothing was snapped to grid. You know, it was all more focused on execution. You know, more than like, you know, editing, that kind of stuff. As Marcus said, it's like when we had the joint sessions in the studio, listening to Live at Midnight stuff, and the brief was, okay, we're writing a split punk rock album. So Live at Midnight nailed that, and then Marcus was like, you guys got the brief. Half Price has written a fucking midlife crisis, you know, because it sounds like the songs are deep, but they're really good, you know. It's really done nicely, and it's got it's raw, but it's well done. It's well produced, but not overproduced. Like on the drums, for example, the snare drum and the kick drum have only got about like a 20% trigger on it. The rest we spent time on getting tuning right, doing all that kind of stuff. It was really good.
He's really meticulous in his work.
He is, and he's attentive. You know, he's got such a good ear, and he's so quick, dude. He's like a fucking ninja behind that thing.
But he's also done some great work. I can't not ignore this, that he did Take Hands, both Legacy Bones and Legacy Bones, and then the other one was
He also does the peasant stuff as well.
Yeah, and he does peasant as well. Graham Pitout.
Yeah.
Pitout. Graham, tell me how to pronounce your surname, please.
And where's my case of beer? I'm not going to be the last person
to comment on your bloody status. I think
you already promised it to me.
2,000 comments. But Legacy Bones and I can't remember, Take Heart or
that one.
Something to that effect. They
Cheers.
The drums on that specifically were really like organic and raw and stuff. So I get what you're trying to say. You know, I get what you're trying to say.
I mean, it was just a really good experience. You know what I mean? I had 2 days for drumming, but the first day basically spent just all on tuning, different cymbal setups, different snare drums, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Isn't it hard recording live drums?
Well, yeah, dude. Drums recording are hard because your leeway in terms of, you got to do it to a metronome, you know. But the leeway.
He can do that now.
Yeah, I can do that.
Hey,
now.
yeah, dude.
After 17 years, I know what a fucking click track is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just it was fairly smooth, and it's just, you know, it just worked out really well, you know.
Excellent.
And you get a really good vibe of the camaraderie of the bands individually, but more so of the collective of the two bands.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's nice. It's logistically, it's being in a band logistically is complicated. Now doing a project with two bands.
For me, I think you're bringing back a very old school method.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think for me is
Korn and Deftones.
exactly, and then you get I Killed the Prom Queen and Parkway Drive. Those are other split EPs that are. I mean, do you know about that shit, Marcus? No.
You had Rancid and NoFX, where Rancid did NoFX.
Yeah. I mean,
so it's not a new idea, but it's something
that hasn't been done in quite a long time.
It's something that hasn't been milled. Like take the tribute shows that have, you know, for the last years. It's like as soon as a new album comes out or fucking somebody dies, it's like there's a tribute show. And I dig it. I dig playing something that's cool, but there's been so much that has become more of the same. You know what I mean? So it's not new, but there hasn't been done a lot of it, and it was done well, you know. So which was cool.
Yeah, but I think.
Sorry, you're asking what we can expect from it.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
midlife crisis from us.
Hey man,
punk rock
I get sucked into conversation. I don't even know what the last question I asked you was. I was just sucked into what you were saying.
I think in terms of the half price tracks on the album, it's quite different to the previous half price tracks, but it's also the same. So it's like. It's half price at this stage in our lives. It's as satirical as it has always been, but at the same time, it's also...
You can tell that we've grown as a band.
We can definitely say that we're not like 21 anymore, but we
can play our instruments now.
Yeah.
Which actually makes you guys more dangerous as far as I'm concerned, like, and more influential, because you guys have taken it so I know. It gives me that same feeling where you know exactly what you want, and that's more dangerous. Is that in the sense that you know what you want to put out, you know exactly what the finished product's going to sound like before you've even played your first note.
And it's still us. It's still cheeky.
It's still you.
It's still like in your face punk rock. It's hard. It's.
But after 17 years, it's like it's. And I don't want to call it rounded off or polished, because
you can
punk
say that
is
for an album in 10 years time.
Yeah, exactly. It's still raw. It's still punk. It's still in your face. It's still an absolute blast, and that's what you guys are all about.
The execution was more natural to make it good instead of mechanically making it better. Like in terms of the mixing and editing and stuff like that. It's it's. I can hear some bit of inconsistency and stuff like that, but you don't hear it in context of the song. It's only because I know I don't usually hit that there, or Pete doesn't hit that. You know what I mean? There's nothing to a listener that but these inconsistencies give it its signature.
Sure. Yeah.
And makes it natural. You know what I mean? And which is really nice, because otherwise, the biggest thing, if you're not comfortable, if trained musician, or if you're just not comfortable in a recording scenario, which I think a lot of local bands aren't, because recording, unless you got a home studio setup that can do live drums and all that kind of stuff, you got to go somewhere, and you don't do it all the time. But to be comfortable and to really, for me as a listener, I feel like I'm sitting in that practice room with the band and they're playing at a practice session. It doesn't feel like I can hear the drums recorded separately. I can hear X, Y, and Z. But to give you the format, so it's a split album with a live at midnight, so there's going to be
6 tracks per band.
6 tracks per band plus the split track, So Hard It Hurts.
The one you just watched.
Although
I love the fact that you've gone 6/6 split.
Yeah, although we've got an extra song that was released on Mom.
Okay.
But we added a horn section with Lee and Ross from Hog Hog
Hog. Yeah.
So which is
got Lex to say.
I actually wanted to touch on just something we can really just touch on it very briefly. Is there was a very iconic photo. I can't remember who showed it to me. I think it was Devin Martindale. He plays in Crossfire Collision.
Yeah. Of course.
Didn't he go with you guys on tour at some stage, or he went with Hogs? He went with Hogs. And you guys were together, and you guys
produced our previous album, Program to Party.
Yeah.
Okay, DDM Studios.
Yeah.
Check out DDM Studios. Devin Martindale. He is the guitarist. He plays a beautiful deluxe ESP.
ESP,
It's one of the hottest guitarists around.
Yeah, and it's matte black and it's got the gold. And Devin, you're a beast, you little. But he's got a great. He's exceptionally good at engineering, as well as Mr. Dean Bailey. They're all kind of from the same area, and they've always kind of like
we all are.
Yeah, I mean, you got Devon DDM, and then you got Cloud Studios. They've always kind of like been intertwined as far as I'm concerned.
Dean has been recording bands for like 13 years, and Devon's probably not far behind that, or probably on a similar sort of time. Look, obviously, what bands you record, you know, that kind of thing, but they're both very good, both very quick.
Sure.
I think while we've got a very good relationship with Devon. I mean, you know, we've done a lot of pre-production with him. We've played a lot of shows. You know, we homies.
And that's what was a tough decision who to go with, because we thought, do we go with what we know, which is Devon, who's done pre-production for Monotony of Monogamy with us.
Sure. Oh, okay.
Now I'm recorded program to Party, but then we
like
also
a few years relationship with.
Like 10 years, and then we said like, but actually.
And Bullet Script's Knotted EP was also recorded at Devon.
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
But we kind of thought like, let's try something different. You
sure.
can't
totally. But there's no like disrespect or anything like that. There. I mean,
but it's still a tough call, because again, we're friends with all the people.
Sure, absolutely. I never even knew that this would turn into a new discussion. I never knew that the first. So which is even better, because everybody's had a little piece of the pie.
Either way, it would have been a great product in the end, but we wanted to go with a bit of a different.
Yeah,
the songs were slightly different. So and again. We just felt like, you know, a slightly different approach
might help us.
Might
be refreshing.
Give us
something different.
Still keep the elements of Half Price, but with a different veneer on it.
Well, the last thing you want to do is you want to release the same album.
It's not
6 times.
Not the 10-year-old. It's the 17-year-old.
Exactly. But you need to release something. The new album shouldn't sound exactly the same way like the last two.
No, 100%. 100%. No, that's remarkable. I mean, that's something I didn't even know, and I managed to spark the conversation regarding it. So that's fantastic.
So with the album,
yes,
we're doing a lot of stuff. We figured we do the whole album on video, so we're going to launch the whole album. Well, not the half price section of the album, not the Live at Midnight. Practice room sessions at our old jam room, which was shut down.
Box, It wasn't shut down, they relocated.
Yeah, they moved to so we're a bit sad that we lost our practice room. So we thought, as a final respect to the practice room, we'd record the whole album live in the practice room.
And we had a party at the same time. Hence, that's where the video that everybody just watched, that was in our practice room.
Okay.
We're going on tour with both bands in October, I think. Launch tour around the country.
That's amazing.
We're going to release, obviously, online, digitally. We've got a Thundafund crowdfunding campaign going at the moment.
Please plug it.
Please.
You
donate us your money. I mean, like,
give us your cash.
Half Price has got a Thundafund.
You can go on our Facebook page. You'll see the link. I don't know what the fucking link is off by
Thundafund, so hard it hurts.
Listen, the link's going to be in the description of the video.
There we go.
Yeah.
So anything that you need to be aware of in terms of Half Price,
and there
coming
are
up.
different, like, depending on how much you donate, there are different things you can get.
So if you feel like donating 1,500 rand, you can go on a date with this beautiful single man.
I think I'm cheaper than that. We might have a special run where all those things they will be discounted by half price.
So we're pawning off some of the Half Price members,
and
which is great.
There's also a date with Ollie, you know.
Listen, Ollie's he's got that swaggy.
Yeah,
he's got that swag.
He's got the lead guitarist with the hair blowing.
And he's playing bass in the Live at Midnight, which I think is absolutely bloody amazing. Yeah. So, guys, I think we're going to have to wrap this up. We're going almost on 2 hours.
Shit, it's been good time.
It's been fantastic. And the longer it is for me, the better. My only problem is I've got to kind of keep it some sort. No, I've got to keep it some sort of uniform, like with the rest of the episodes and whatnot. So this is by far my longest.
I think to wrap it up, we've been doing this for 17 years, and we could probably talk about this for the next 17 hours.
Precisely.
Or 17 years.
But we would like to drink and have some cigarettes.
But there are some people.
So can we wrap it up, please?
Yeah, there are some people out there that actually have appreciated that, and that's Adam and Denton, and they actually decided to shoot a little docu about us, a little documentary movie.
Well, yeah, it started by being about us, but then they realized it could be about something so much bigger, which is the local punk scene.
100%.
But it's been made through our eyes and
Yes.
through our experiences,
Yes.
but much bigger about us. So it's been, 2 years in the making, 3 years?
3 years in the making, self-funded by Adam and Denton.
Yeah.
And they're basically, it's called Still Playing Punk. And it's the Cape Town punk scene, the South African punk scene through the eyes of Half Price.
Yeah.
Can I
That's
just ask you a
basically what it
question?
is, yeah.
So just say that last thing that you said. I missed it.
Still Playing Punk. That's
Still
gonna
Playing
be,
Okay,
Punk.
Still Playing
That's
Punk.
Still
the name
Playing
of
Punk
the
is the name of the documentary. And the description that Adam always likes to give is the South African punk scene through the eyes of Half Price.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Now tell me, what's Denton's surname?
Carstens.
Okay, now I was just wondering because I met a Denton making
You
a
don't
video.
meet many Dentons, do you?
Yeah, exactly.
I went
That's
to
what I
fucking
was just-
Stonehenge with that guy. And
Who the fuck built a Stonehenge?
And the little fucking village just before has got a fucking newsletter that's just called Denton. So there's Denton's Hardware, Denton's Pharmacy, Denton's fucking, you name it, it's got it there. But there's only like 500 people in the village.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
So
Anyway.
it's a
Are
dingle
you
bang
Denton
deal
number
that
one?
we
On that, I must say that we've been very fortunate to have a lot of crew members, family members. They're part of the band. Jess, our manager, Denton, Adam. There's been tons that have helped.
Gavin,
Kelly, Keith,
Taryn in Durban.
for organising shows, and it's really cool that you've got this. In the
It's a
words of
family base.
Soulfly,
You
for
guys
real
sound
tribe,
like
you
you've
know?
got such a solid base. It's actually frightening. You guys.
A solid base.
Adam,
Yeah.
another one is Sasha.
Yeah.
Where would we be without fucking
Yeah.
Sasha?
There's a lot of people that we wouldn't be sitting here having all this information.
Okay, well,
So,
quickly give your shout outs to your boys.
my boys and girls.
Your boys and
Can't look
girls.
at the
Who
camera, I
them?
feel weird. You do it.
Denton, Adam.
Denton, Adam,
Pete.
Sasha, Keith,
Jess,
Gavin, Jessica. I love you, Jessica.
Jess, Queen Dragon, Rattle.
Say-
Taryn, fuck the guys from all the punk bands around this country.
Fuzzy Gish,
all the
Hogger
guys,
Hog,
girls,
Alive
Hogger
and
Hog,
Alive.
Fuzzy Gish, like
John Shaban, everybody, dude.
the guys in Germany who helped us out. There's so many people. Without them, we wouldn't be anywhere, and that's why we also appreciate this.
Well, we would be, but
documentary.
we wouldn't be playing instruments. We'd just be at the bar
Yeah,
drinking.
we'd be. So yeah, thank you. Without all these connections, the last 17 years wouldn't have been as much fun. And I'm glad somebody decided to capture these 17 years on film. That's all it is.
And let's also not forget that you are very loved by a lot of fans. You guys have a lot of fans, and that's obviously that keeps you going. It must be.
It does. You know, it's getting appreciation is always nice. You know, you always it's a nice feeling getting noticed, or not the attention side.
Yeah,
but just,
100%.
Just making a difference in people's lives. You know,
when somebody
again, we
comes
didn't
up
start
to
it doing for that, but hey, it helps us along the way, especially when you go through dips and other stuff. I mean, I remember Elaine he's a singer for Peasant now. They're 15 years down the line.
Vela Draco.
Yeah, he
Enmity.
he went up to Pete and he's like, dude, that song was so awesome. Like, he's like, just go chat to Kyle because he wrote the lyrics kind of thing. And he was like, dude, that song changed my life kind of thing. And I was like, and that was at Weinberg Sports Club. That was like 10, 12 years ago. And it's like just to have one person. It's only been the only person that said to me in like the last 17 years kind of thing, but it makes it worth it.
Totally.
And
Absolutely.
other acts like in Joburg, when I was fortunate enough when Adam and Denton filming this documentary, I took them over to Germany and also to Joburg on the way and stuff like that because I speak German, so I was translating for them.
Sure.
And like some of the bands were saying, if it wasn't for Half Price, that was one of the main influences why we even picked up instruments and stuff like that. So
It's
That's
weird.
fantastic.
whoa, I never saw my.
That's next
like
level.
this.
That's
It's like,
cool.
I just
That's
thought,
cool. I would
did
love
this
that.
come from? It's like scary shit. Like how do you react to that? Like I did not know what to say. It's like kind of
I
just
still
walk
never know what
out
to
the room
say.
and like just like. Yeah,
But that's a
whatever.
good thing. If you prepared
That's
for
crazy,
something like
man.
that, when somebody gives you that kind of compliment, and you kind of try and own it, then point missed. But if
Sure.
it makes you feel uncomfortable, then you know you're doing the job right. You know what I mean? It's like because you're not doing this to help the people. But shit, if I can do something without trying to help somebody and they end up helping it, go for it. Whatever
Oh.
100%.
Just if it helps you in whatever way, or if it just makes you get up and have a good time. mission accomplished.
I think we can easily say that it's been an amazing journey for you guys.
Absolutely.
It's been fantastic, and
it's been an amazing evening with you, my man.
Thank you so much, and that's gonna be my next thing is thank you so much.
I think this is a perfect way to end this off.
Absolutely. I think I just want to say thank you so much for coming through. It was great to see you. Thank you for dealing with the jet lag and all that kind of stuff that you've had to deal with coming from the airport. 100%.
So I can just continue drinking for the last 2 weeks, right? No, but it's been really cool, dude. Thank you.
Awesome, man. And guys, check out Half Price. Check them on Facebook. Where can they check you out?
Facebook. We've got all our music on Bandcamp. You can listen to it for free, and we're selling it if you want to have it as download for next to nothing.
They'll be cheap. Just always remember that.
We've got some tracks on YouTube. I don't even know what's on there, but
you got the Bandcamp, Spotify, all the major streaming.
Yeah, we've got Spotify.
No,
that's how much I know.
For the last 10 years.
Apple Music means
drummer,
Spotify, right? So thank you guys so much for tuning in. This has been a very long episode of Papa G's House. It's my 4th episode. I just felt like we couldn't cut it at any sort of stage. It's been fantastic meeting with Kyle and Marcus. I can't wait to meet with Pete and the rest of the dudes at a later stage after their tour, which is something that I've definitely organized with these guys.
Have a live at midnight before the tour.
And we're gonna have a live at midnight. I'm gonna have a live at midnight on the show as soon as physically possible. To be honest with you. I need that swaggy. I need Migs and swaggy in this place, and Grumble, and I need to get some more microphones.
Next time we can have a threesome here.
Yeah, well, thank you for my first threesome on Papa G's House. So thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. It's been super fun. I really like the fact that we had a couple of drinks before. We had a little bit of conversation before we built a rapport prior to it. I don't care how long this video has been.
It was epic, man.
I don't care how long.
2 hours.
It's 2 hours, man.
Yeah, it's been super comfortable, easy, rad.
Thank you so much, and I look forward to having you guys back, man.
Let's show that docu.
No, 100%. No, I'm going to that.
It's way ahead of you. You just
Check. Marcus is like, okay, guys, I've got to do a meeting tomorrow at 9 o'clock.
I've got to go fly back to fucking Europe. You know?
So this week's Papa G's pick. First of all, I just want to say thanks to everybody for the support that I've got in the last couple of weeks with Patrick Davidson and Josh and Jared's episodes. It's been awesome. Thank you to everybody who's inboxed me. Thank you to everybody who's messaged me over WhatsApp or whatever the case may be. I'm going to keep on doing this because by the sounds of things, you guys want it. And thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
And
definitely worth it, man.
Yeah. For sure, it's just something I've wanted to do for a long time. So I'm just.
It's nice that you're taking the podcast to like a video level as well, because that's where it's gonna
100%, man. It's more personal that way. We get to know who the people are and all that kind of jazz.
Yeah, no, dude, it's good. Well done.
Thanks a lot, man. Yeah. And this week's Papa G's pick is gonna be from none other than Half Price themselves. They're in the process. They have been in the process for the last couple of years. Who knows when this thing's going to be released? But
2019.
I've seen it.
2029.
Yeah, I've seen the first the first makings of it, and it's just nothing short of spectacular. It's a story. It's captivating. So look out for it. What is it called?
Still playing punk.
Motherfucker. The world of punk through Half Price's eyes.
There we go.
South African punk.
Thank you so much. That's my Papa G's pick. Still playing punk through the eyes of Half Price. This is Papa G's House. This is Marcus. This is Kyle. We are out.
I don't know if they're your friends or your brother's friends. But if I see this again, I'm going to call the police, because this is just nonsense. They are rowdy, they are drunk, and I will not have the carryings on in front of my house.
This is our ranting manifesto!
We were being different in a very small fish tank. It was very apparent to everyone this band was not conforming to like what was expected of bands to do. We were like fish fucking like jumping like out of the bowl, flopping on them. on the table, like running out of air.
It's almost like they wish like something like that didn't exist in South African music.
Because people and other bands and venues were very reluctant to book us, we had to do our own thing from day one, basically. But we basically created our own crowds and created our own audience so that we could have fun.
We're playing punk rock. If we get 20 kids to come to our show, that's great. If we get 200 kids to come to our show, it's great. It's not something we're going to live off.
We've just always kind of been under the tops and the more crass, and we're quite happy dominating that space, you know what I mean? We've done what we've needed to do, and we're happy with it going whichever way it goes. It's not about us trying to be something that we're not.
We're expressing our individuality by being reckless and mature.
We sing about crass and ridiculous shit.
This like satirical punk band from South Africa, they immediately recognized it for what it was. And the South African media, on the other hand, they never grasped it as such.
We thought like there was no ceiling at that point at all.
We had arrived in Europe and people were digging our stuff. The gigs just became better and better, and we were selling merch.
Fuck you, the band's gonna make it, what the fuck are you doing? But now it doesn't matter because we realized the band's not going to make it.
We had a bad reputation for many years.
They knew very well who we are. They still know who we are. He said, I really like half price, but they can't play their instruments.
You guys are always wasted, like, what are you doing? Trying to make music, you guys can't do it.
Because you guys are a liability. You just go crazy, you do whatever the hell you want, you can't control you. You're not going to play there.
I remember taking that very serious. It's like, fuck you, we can do, if we want to be professional, we can be professional. We don't want to be professional, that's why we're not.
We didn't give a fuck.
And we actually were quite rude to a lot of people, not intentionally, but
we're not deliberately trying to be dicks. I mean, let's put that out there. Think about normal shit.
We did become a little bit more professional in later years, relatively so. When you're starting on a low base, it's easy to improve on that. But I think the wise man once said, a band in Cape Town is sometimes not measured by how good they are, but how long they've been able to stay together in one band. It really says something about finding your place in the world.